you too, Jenkins.
Fuck you, Charlie.
Well, that's a thing.
That.
Evening.
Good evening.
Testing.
Hello, hello.
Okay, so now if I can only hear anybody else.
You can't hear us?
Should be able to hear me.
Yep, I can hear you.
So you should be able to hear me.
Yes, I can hear Stringer and Marsalis. And I can hear Punk, but I don't know if he can hear us.
Amazing.
Oh?
All right. That's sort of up. There's video. Now, if only I get some audio.
Yep, well, we can hear you.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, testing again.
Yep, still hear you.
You hear us now?
Yep.
All
But
righty,
you
daddy.
hear me, but I can't hear you. Well, I can't hear anybody, actually. So I've got to figure out why I don't have local audio, apparently.
That I can't answer, because all the rest of us can hear each other.
Even if we could answer, he wouldn't hear it.
I know.
I always got to be something. Stuff can't just work. That'd be too easy. Okay. That would do it. Maybe. Maybe not.
Boop, 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 doop, boop, doop, boop, doop, boop, doop, boop.
That's something.
Oh,
I can hear that.
oh yeah.
I do have local.
I can still hear you.
Ay, ay, ay. Oh, come on. Let's do this. Oh. No, it's set right. Turn all the way up.
Ow.
its original radius. Okay. Maybe. Okay, would someone say something for me, please?
Hello, hello.
Hey! I figured it out.
Hey, Macarena.
Yay.
Good.
Hoorah!
Yay. Alright, so everybody's coming in here. And OBS can hear me, and I think it can hear you guys still.
Excellent.
Yes, it can. Amazing. Oh my gosh. That's what a couple weeks up on a lift pulling cable will do. A few weeks, whatever it's been.
Yeah.
Been insane, crazy. But we're back. And maybe we can actually do something.
Excellent. Demo.
Yep.
Okay. But that's up. That's ready. And it's not even 1 o'clock yet. Oh my gosh. This is crazy.
Oh my.
All right. Let's see. Get that out of the way. Don't need that now. Make sure this is okay. It looks good. Maybe. Yes. Okay. All right, gentlemen. Is everybody actually here?
No.
Well, anybody that's not here is just not here. Anybody that is here is going to get some Cyberpunk.
Ah. Oh.
Just saying. Let's see here. What is this? I don't care about that. All right. So some people spent some points. We've had lots of time off, probably more than anybody else wanted.
Indeed. But it's good to be back.
Yeah. Don't worry, the world has been getting crazier while we've been gone.
Likely.
Yeah. No. Just read a news article this morning about a Catholic school in Nashville that had removed the Harry Potter books from its school library on the grounds that the curses and spells used in the books are actual curses and spells, which, when read by a human, risk the conjuring of evil spirits.
Woo! Love it.
Now,
I'm going to go out and actually buy and read a Harry Potter book.
Yep. I can tell you that no evil spirits appeared while I was reading the first two books to my youngest.
You have a flashback to the 1600s or something, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Jeez. Let's see. I think if you guys are up for it, I'm just going to hit the start streaming button and we'll just do whatever we can do, get started. We'll talk about where we were because it's just been too long, you know. I forgot where we were and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Well, there was an entire session that I missed. So I'm even further back.
well, there's that. Well, shoot. Let's see here.
Yeah. Well, discounting the last abortive effort when I was the only one who turned up, I think the previous time we ended when I was around at Coils, seeing how the bus was coming along, and
Right.
I think Vex was with me as well. We were munching down on the real beef tacos.
That's it. That's right. Having a picnic in the building there. Tacos and stuff. Let's see here. I'm going to do a couple of things on here, and then we'll get started unless anybody has anything else we need to go talk about before I hit the start button. So this one, do that.
Yeah, after that, I was going to do a couple of things with the editing.
Couple more fences. Okay, well, I am going to hit the start button, and of course, maybe. Oh, come on. Well, okay, so I won't hit the start button. I'll go check that real quick. It's been long enough. I probably have to redo a key or something. Give me just a moment. Okay, if I can get into the correct account here. I actually had planned to be on here pushing an hour ago, but at the last minute, my youngest decided she wanted to go to Wendy's and get some sandwiches, which is a 30-minute one-way drive. And she was very insistent. So we did that. Yeah, okay, well, it appears I've lost. Again, I say it'd be too easy if things just worked. Apologize. I've got apparently my stream key with YouTube with the software I use to stream to multiple sites has just completely gone away, and I've got to redo it. So, but it looks like it may have already come back up. So that's good. That just took a moment. So Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube looks like they're okay now. Hopefully. And now the question is, try this again. So OBS starts catching up to me here. No, it's been absolutely crazy. I had that job that was supposed to take about a week for Tulsa and a week for Oklahoma City, and it's been like 3 weeks, and I've just Friday finished the Oklahoma City one. It was just insane. Oh, okay. So OPS is complaining that there's something to do with my drivers. Of course it is. All right. Well, gentlemen, it looks like I probably need to reboot real quick.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. Just
No worries.
Just another thing. Back in a minute. Good thing is this machine boots quick.
Oh my.
Hey, I'm back.
Ah.
Hello again.
Now let's see if we can get everything to work here in just a moment. Okay, so 180 cable, 294 megs. That looks right. that. Okay. Now let's try. No, actually, I got to get that back up. And this back up. There. Here. Eventually, everything will be back up here, and we'll see if it works.
Okay.
Still getting there. Okay, that's back in. That's back in. OBS, that's okay. Maybe. Oh, I was going to mention, for those of us that have little kids that sometimes like to go screaming around, not to comment that the little kid just screamed, but there's a piece of software I'm still playing with called Crisp, KRISP.
Mm-hmm.
If you've heard of it, but it's it does AI. It's AI based sound filtering. And there is a guy that did a review of it that actually had his daughter on his lap who was giggling and laughing, and the software completely removed the sounds of the kid, and you could only hear his voice when it was on.
Nice.
As well as removing his other kids who were in the next room. When he turned it off, you could hear the kids in the next room playing. He turns it back on. No. Degraded sound quality just slightly, but if you've got a noisy environment, it'd probably be worth it.
Might be interesting to try, yeah.
Yep. And there's actually, if it's still on AppSumo, there's a lifetime deal on it too. Well, one time and you got it. There's a couple of drawbacks to it. It's pretty new, but might be something that might be interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if it can be fitted to a phone so it can filter out my ex bitching.
I think it is actually on iPhone, yes. Android, not yet.
No, I don't even have a smartphone. Everyone everyone else in the house has a smartphone, but I just have a phone that makes phone calls and sends text messages. Don't want a smartphone.
Oh,
but
it does what you need it to.
Yeah.
You know.
I was the same for years, but then I succumbed, and now they're just too damn useful.
Oh, I don't like the fact that they are constantly broadcasting my location and doing other shit.
You can turn that stuff off.
Not really.
Yeah, to an extent and theoretically, but
you can keep them from telling apps where your location is, but at least
they do what they say they're doing.
At least in the US and the UK, it's illegal to bypass the GPS locator because they use it for emergency services.
Yeah. The flip side is that any mobile device is pretty much constantly broadcasting your location because, it's connecting to mobile towers.
Yeah, but one that doesn't have, the high-res GPS on can only tell you which tower.
It can tell you which 3.
Right. But the ones with the, more accurate GPS on, I mean, Sarah is, always complaining about the fact that, if she stops, and looks in the windows of certain shops, the next time she goes to Google, she'll be getting adverts for those shops coming up. So, I just, pick up my 2003 model phone and just wave it at her.
I just like my flip phone. It does what a phone is supposed to do. It talks to people and it texts people. I could take or leave the texting people. I'm old. I'm an old young person.
Well, guys, it looks like I am working on it, but I've got a little bit more of a delay here. I'm trying to figure it out. It appears that OBS is going to make me update drivers.
Okay.
If you guys don't mind me bearing with me for a couple minutes here, and we'll see if we can get this done. If it doesn't go pretty quick, then we'll just go on. But I'd like to be able to stream. It's been weeks. I'd like to be able to.
My youngest and her friends, they'll send text messages to each other when one of them is upstairs and the other is downstairs.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Well, I can't say too much. My wife and I will text sometimes when we're on the opposite ends of the house from each other, and we're both working. We have desks. She has an office area on one end of the house, and my desk is on the other end. So sometimes it's convenient to just send a text rather than stopping what you're doing, getting up, and one of the other end of the house. But so I admit I'm guilty of that one.
Well, mind you, the other week when Sarah was laid up with the broken ankle, she can get around a lot better now, and because the wrist is healed, she can use the crutches properly and get up and down the stairs. So things are a lot easier now. But I would tell her when I was putting the headphones on to do something, and if she wanted me, she would call, because my mobile will light up when it rings. So I don't need to hear it. But she never actually called me when I was on the internet with the headphones. So.
It's good to have that capability, though. It's interesting how you don't realize how much you get used to having the ability to do that, to get a hold of somebody quickly like that, until it doesn't work for some reason, or you don't have signal somewhere or something like that.
Yeah.
All right, well, wait for that to download, and we'll see what happens here in a moment.
I can remember a time when car phones only covered about 30% of the country.
Yeah.
I didn't have one. I had a mate who sold them.
My dad way back had actually a radio phone in his car.
Yeah.
Before cell phones, it was a car phone, but it was a radio phone. He actually had to carry maps of the state of the area wherever he might be, so that he could pick what frequency to use depending on where he was located.
Yeah, I remember seeing some of those in films where they pick up the phone, and they press a button, and it went through to a manned exchange, and you tell them what number you wanted, then they would dial it and connect you to that number.
That was the way that I don't remember all of it, but I remember it was a phone that looked a lot like the old AT&T larger handsets, the old desk phones.
Yeah.
But I think it had some extra buttons, so you could pick a frequency depending on where you were, and then like you said, it would be like calling. It would be like the old phones, where when you hit the button, you get an operator, and then they would connect you with whomever.
And
But that was a long time ago.
yeah, I've seen movies that have been set back, whenever, early days of the phones when there was no dial on the phone. So when you picked them up, you had to tell the operator what number you wanted. And in the movies, they were always asking for, they'd say whatever the area was, and they'd rarely say more than 4 numbers because there just weren't that many phones around.
Right. Yeah, you just do be like a neighborhood or something like that code, and then a few digits. Yep. Or then of course there were the party lines. Those were interesting.
There used to be a company in Britain that did a thing for people who subscribed where you could plug your phone into a thing that was like, the big horns on old wind-up gramophones before they had amplifiers.
Mm-hmm.
You plugged your phone into something like that, and you could tune into this company that would go to plays and concerts, and it was broadcasting over the phone.
Oh, wow. That would be interesting. No, I don't know if they had it where you guys are, but they used to have states. They used to have you'd have one phone line going. It might be going into a handful of houses. The same phone
Party lines.
Party lines. Yep. So you pick up the phone, and somebody else might already be on the line, and you just have to wait your turn, or you'd have to ask them, "Do you mind if I make a call real quick?" And then you can use the line again. And of course, the same thing. Just anybody could pick up the phone and just listen in on your conversation. If they were just quiet enough, you'd never notice they were there. Yep. Of course, this is all way before my time. My grandfather worked for AT&T for a long time, so I heard lots of stories about this stuff. All right, NVIDIA.
Yeah, I also remember seeing a thing where Alexander Graham Bell was saying that one day there will be a phone in every town in America.
Mm-hmm. Every town.
Yeah.
He's slightly off. His scale was just a little bit low.
I assume by that he meant a payphone, whether it was in a phone box or the post office or something.
I don't know. At the time he said that, I don't know if it was if he would have meant a payphone or not. Or if that was after. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there must have been some way of, if he was talking about phones that were there for the public to use, there must have been some way of paying for it.
I think the idea was wherever the phone was located, they would pay for the phone, and then they pay for the line, pay for access, and then having it available was a pull to get people to come into their store, their shop, or their whatever it was.
Yeah. But I do know in the time from, when I remember what the cost of phone calls was when I was a kid, from seeing adverts on the television and knowing what it would cost to use a payphone. Except for the cost of using a payphone now in Britain, which is extortionate. The cost per minute for making phone calls is one of the few things that's gone down from when I was a kid.
That's interesting. You can't hardly find a payphone in the U.S. anymore. Every now and then, there's a few places you'll see one every now and then, but it's very, very rare anymore. At least,
Yeah.
from what I've seen.
We have a lot less payphones than we used to have. But one thing that I still find a bit odd about Britain is you can be, out in the country, driving over the moors, and on the top of a hill, miles from anywhere, there'll be, one of the old red phone boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the phone works. And you just wonder, why?
Well, it's for those people that don't carry real phones. I mean, don't carry smartphones. No. Okay, well, it looks like I'm not going to be streaming. It's going to take a long time for that to download. So now that I finally got to the right place to actually download the actual driver, it's...
well, you can always record and upload the recording.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'll do. I'll just record it for now, and we'll go from there later. So, okay, so let's see. We had the last one, right? Where it was just Stringer and I, but we really didn't do much or do anything, did we? I think on that one, you were checking on the bus rather, and you're having your build, but that was it pretty much.
I made the rolls for putting together at home a short 10-minute piece about what's been happening with the buying the buildings, demolishing the buildings, and then
Right.
Showing the plans that we found. And my plan with that was going to be make several copies to put onto flash drives.
Mm-hmm.
Then go around the various gangs and pass a copy on to whoever's like at the door to pass on to the gang leader. Tell them this is the report I was doing that was interrupted by the ninjas.
Right.
And I'm hoping to see if I can sell that to some of the smaller stations. Well, not sell it, just give it away.
Or even just you're just trying to get it out there as much as you can. Whatever you can get it out there is the idea, right? Okay.
Yeah, some of the smaller stations that might be prepared to show the fact that it was Arasaka people that were there. Because I remember the major networks didn't want to.
Yeah, the big networks refused to air that. There was somebody that aired part of it, but it was so watered down it really wasn't helpful to the cause, so to speak.
Yeah. And the other thing I wanted to do was to go over any recordings that I got from those bugs that I planted. One of them, I think, was detected, so the guy chucked it away. But the other one, I got some stuff off, you said. But I can't remember who it was that...
yeah,
it was a guy that I fumbled on twice who probably found it.
Let's see. Yeah, I think it was the one guy found it and got rid of it. The other guy, I think he ended up fumbling. It was not obvious that he got rid of it, but as I recall, with the fumble you made, you may or may not have anything useful, but he probably knew it was there.
Yeah, you did say I got something, but you didn't say what.
I didn't say we didn't get there. Okay, so we'll come back to that in just a moment. Then on that, let me. I'm on the wrong screen here. Moment. Oops, not that screen either. Oh, come on, machine. Oh, I was going to check who. I'm looking for my Zoom screen is disappeared on me. Obviously, I'm still here. We're still talking, so it didn't die.
Yeah.
But oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. Okay. I'm just double checking my list so I know who all is here today.
Alrighty, Daddy.
Who are we missing? Actually, that might be easier. Is it
Vex.
Vex
Yeah.
isn't here? Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dropped him a message because he'd asked what time we were starting, but he's disappeared and shown as offline on Discord.
Okay. And Vex was with you, Austin, right, at the tech shop?
Yeah.
That part of that little bit. Okay. So we got that. So I will give you results of your listening device here in a minute. What did Marcelo? What did Food miss on that other session that he wasn't here for?
It was a ninja attack, probably.
Was that the ninja attack on the the big meeting?
So I missed the meeting and the ninja attack.
You missed that's right. Okay, so you missed the meeting. There was there was a big meeting of all the groups and everybody involved in this whole Charter Hill South experimental, whatever we call it, thing. The fixers that are the remaining were on stage, as well as some other people. There was and Stringer tried to give his presentation, but not far into his presentation, there was an attack by ninjas who were dressed similarly and had seemed to have similar tactics to the ones that have attacked the building, your guys' building. But Pac-Man, through his extraordinary use of authority, was able to rally people together, the gangs and those there, enough of them anyway, to that the ninjas decided to break off their attack and basically left. But there was enough. The meeting had been already disrupted. A number of people had fled. There were a number of injuries and stuff. So that pretty much ended. So I think what we're gonna do, I'm gonna give you, your recording, audio recording. I don't remember how long you had, but you will find that it is network 23 broadcast, as in the bug was probably just put by a TV or something and left.
Yeah.
But it's just whatever was broadcasting at the time on net 23. So network 23, I mean. So nothing really helpful there. And I'm going to double check.
So I still don't know if they...
Let me just make sure. Yeah, okay.
So we still don't know if those two fixers are genuinely trying to develop the area or whether they're working with whoever's trying to tear it down.
Your efforts to gain information on that, you're unsuccessful. Basically those fumbles kind of foiled the attempt to figure it out, at least by that method. The bus, you guys had your meal. All was good. Everybody was happy. She all but promised that the bus would be ready, and she was certain you were going to be happy with it. You did settle. I think you'd already talked about prices and stuff beforehand.
Yeah, I've already paid for.
And you've already taken that money off. So unless you're going to put more money into it, you're good on that. We're going to fast forward a couple of weeks in game time.
Yep.
And
also remember, I did put together another what's it and the chips with the report on it. You did go around, you passed them out. Neighborhoods I'm going to say, I should ask, Marcellus, Pac-Man, you guys, anything else you want to have done over the couple of weeks that's not going to require role play per se? Shopping, something, anything like that?
Get my my apartment
Maybe.
set up with those bulletproof panels we took. Get those set up by the hallway door and everything else.
Okay. You're just going to set them up there, or you're going to try to make them look like they're built in or something?
Just going to set them up on the inside there for now.
Okay.
And then conveniently I'll be able to use the backside to do my association work on. I could post pictures up on it and do my little strings and tacks.
That's it.
On the backside. Right. So it's a perfect surface if I don't hide it.
Yeah, you will, as far as that the basic goes, you'll find tacks don't work.
No, magnets, tape, whatever else.
Right, but you can find something. Yes, yeah, you can use tape, or you can use. You could put a sheet of a magnetic material across the back, or something like that, or whatever you want to. Okay. So
yeah. Also, I want to install the few things I bought, like the line tap detector.
On you, that's on your home line.
Landline, yeah.
Home landline for that. Okay.
And the other things like the window tremblers.
Okay, those for really basic. They're mostly plug and play. You just plug them in line. The window tremblers, you just attach them to the window somewhere.
Yeah.
If you wanted to make sure everything was working optimally, and you got the window tremblers in the perfect spot on the windows and that kind of stuff, you'd probably have to get somebody who was an expert in such things. But you can, the instructions say put it on the windows. Peel off the little double-sided tape thing and put it on the window. The instructions say unplug your phone and plug them in here. No big deal. You can do the basics if that's all you're worried about.
Yeah, it's better than having nothing, even if it's not perfect.
Marcellus.
Yes, I was looking to see if I could trade 2 of the assault rifles that I'd acquired to pick up a couple of other weapons instead.
Okay. Well,
so I know we were planning on going to the Nomad Market, but I don't know if that sort of has come and gone and disappeared.
It did not happen. It was going to happen. Then we had the meeting. Then the whole thing happened, and you guys missed that one. But there will be another one coming up very soon. If you want to do it at the Nomad Market, I think that'd be a role play thing, as opposed to just
Oh, look, I mean, I'm happy to do it any which way.
Okay.
I'm looking, so you know, to get the Federated Arms 454 Super Chief handgun and the Militech Crusher SSG pistol shotgun.
Would you put those over in Discord for me?
Of course.
In just a moment here, I will check those out and do some availability stuff for those here in just a moment. Okay. Okay.
The Super Chief is a Nomad, is a very popular weapon with the Nomads.
Right. Yeah. That's one you may not, or you should be able to find it at Nomad Market without a big deal. But I'm gonna double check them both. I'll do some rolls. I try to do as many of that kind of thing by rolls, as long as it doesn't interfere with the storyline anyway.
Yeah. Oh, you remember that job we did with the singer who'd gone off with the guy with the Russian mobster? I had 2 duffels from the dead guys on the roof and 2 duffels out of the back of the car. And the time you said that they each had an FN RAL with scope sight, a pistol, and the glasses with the low light and the anti-dazzle. What else was in there? Because that wouldn't fill a duffel.
Okay. Yep. No problem. Well, wasn't there some kind of an armored suit or something that we talked about?
I don't remember. I wrote down the rifles, the pistols, and the glasses.
Okay. I believe, if I recall, let me say that was. There were, and I'll have to roll them. How many? You got 4 bags?
Yeah.
And all 4 bags were still all loaded. Those hadn't been used by anybody as far as...
2 were out of the back of the car, and 2 were from the dead guys on the roof. So the rifles that they had and the pistols I stuffed in, and the glasses. But if they'd put on an armored suit, then they might have been wearing it. I didn't strip the bodies.
Okay, so let's do this. You did strip the bodies. I would say, unless you just want them regardless, any clothing they were wearing, I believe, got shot up. So
I took wallets and stuff off them. I didn't take their clothes off.
You didn't take if they were wearing the armored suit or whatever it was they were wearing, you didn't get from the 2 on the roof. Yeah. So you've got 2 of those. So you've got a body, a size 5, size 8, basically based on body size. And these are, let me go look up which one that was again. They are armor SP 12. And they weren't from the book. That was something I did. So one moment, and I will give you the name on that. So here's my screen, my window, my limited internet connection will allow it here. Let's see, what is that company? We'll just do it. Okay, this is still not one load, not doing what I want to do. So we're going to Armani SP12. They call them their tactical bodysuit.
Yep.
It's basically a overall, not overalls, but like what the heck are they called? Like you put it on kind of like one of those those generic suits for painting your house.
Yeah.
You put it on kind of like that. You step into the leg, zip it up, and or whatever the fasteners are. SP12, and it is Armani. It is high fashion. Probably was very expensive, but it's SP12, but it's only SP12. So
Yeah.
And as I recall, that guy was very concerned with how things looked. He was very more in some cases more concerned with how it looked than the actual function of things.
Yep.
So
also, I want to get those cameras that we pinched fitted to the junction box, and give each of us the wireless frequency, and also give Bullock the wireless frequency. But basically, put them on the corners of the apartment block, and that leaves 3 more to put in the hallways outside our apartments.
To get those up and running properly, you probably will need a tech.
Yeah. I'll call Coyle for that.
You can have to do it. Call do that. Okay, we can do that here in just a minute too. Then there was a couple more things in the bag, just some generic stuff. If I can find my list, maybe.
Yeah. Also, the news viewer that I bought, which is basically like an iPad. I'm setting that for breaking alerts and for anything of my own that gets shown on any channel.
Your stuff, okay.
Sort of like ego Googling.
Oh, they had that's it. They did have, what did we talked about what kind of knife it was. It was a variation on a K-bar, but it wasn't a K-bar. Does anybody remember what we called it? I'm not going to worry too much about it, but if we don't.
I think we kind of said the knives we picked up off the other guys.
Oh, that was the other guys. That was the other guys.
All right.
Okay. So in those bags, what else? There's each of them had a half a dozen glow sticks. Each of them had a disposable flashlight 2-hour runtime disposable flashlight. There was, let's see, you had the goggles already, you know about.
Yep.
And I was trying to think if there was something else. I'm looking through here. There is actually a bundle of like 100. It's the really basic stuff, but there's a bundle of 100. Of guessing 100. The really heavy duty, thick zip ties, like the kinds you might use for temporary cuffs. There's those, and that's. Yeah, each bag had just like, they bought a case of them or something. They just threw a bundle in every bag.
Yep.
Had that. They each had one shower in a can.
Yep.
And one instant hair clean. Basically, a shower in a can, but specifically for your hair. Again, he was, he had that appearances issue thing. So
I've already bought some of those for the bus.
Okay, so that was that kit. We got that set up. We'll go over. Oh, you handed out the chips to everybody. You did get some messages back. Thanks for getting them the information. But really not much over this 2 weeks. Not much of anything has happened. It's been relatively quiet. Unsettlingly quiet almost.
Yep.
Except that there has been a couple of areas that has had that same construction, a couple more areas like here and here, a couple more spots where that construction fence has gone up, and the same thing that's happened in the other areas. Everything in the area got demolished, debris got cleaned up and hauled away over some time, and they've got the same signs up, keep out, et cetera, for Robert Roberts Realty for information, and Robert Roberts Property Management, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's all there. So we want to do, okay. Coil will come out and install that stuff. How many cameras are there?
7.
Okay. She will charge, because it's you and you're a friend and all the crap that's been going on, and she saw a copy of your report too. She's going to do it for €25 a camera, which she tells you is about a 75% discount, 25% of what she normally she charges $100. She charges $100 a camera to €100 a camera to install that stuff. So let's see how good a job she did. Just gonna do one, make sure she didn't fail it. She did a pretty good job. Cameras are set up, and the way she installed it, any of the people you mentioned that you gave the information to on for the wireless part of it, they can tune to a particular channel on the entertainment center TVs, whatever they have in their condos, to see the cameras.
Yep.
Okay. Now there is that.
Yeah. Also, there's my the film that I did of the ninja attack and the bodies and the blood afterwards.
There was yet another that show that's been using some of your material. That show is on at least between once and 3 times every day, and it has a different event for every episode.
Yeah.
Okay? They did use some of your stuff. Let's see what you get from this one.
Yeah, I rolled 32 on the film.
That's right.
Photography film for that one, and then the last 2 rolls I did, the 22 and the 20, for the editing and the composition was for the short 10-minute piece about what's going on, what the plans are.
Okay.
But,
they actually send you.
I've got 2 of those that I'm waiting until the end of the month for my royalties.
Okay. That's those. That's that one. Okay. So royalties will come in. Okay. So that's right. Because
the first one was when we went after that corp guy.
Right. Okay. So that's all good. So everybody has nothing else to do in the 2 weeks. So that's all happened. So, like I said, it's been a couple of weeks. It is now, let's see, that was a Saturday. I think the meeting was on Friday or Saturday, something like that. So this is 2 weeks and a few days. It is a Monday now. And I know you guys wanted to do, Marcellus, you wanted to do the Nomad Market. Well, Vex was your contact for the Nomad Market, huh, actually?
He was.
He was. Okay. Well,
he is. I mean,
he is or was, depending on what happens, today and next week. But anyway, so you guys nobody's heard from Vex in a couple of weeks. Stringer, he had that meal with him at Coils. He got a phone call while you guys were eating. He got a phone call. He said it was his pack, that they needed him to go somewhere, and he left. And nobody's heard from him since. So nothing.
Yeah, he was actually on Discord about 2 hours before start time, asking if we were on for tonight, but
he hasn't been back.
Yeah, he hasn't been back since. So.
Okay. Well, if he shows up, it's great. We'll bring that in. But
yeah,
for the moment, that's
turning
where
up late or
etc.
Yeah. Timekeeping probably isn't a big thing with nomads.
You have a point. Probably not. Okay. So that's what happened with that. There was last week. Let's see, Stringer, you've been regularly stopping by the Black Tacos place, and there was a little ad in their menu last week that for a farmer's market, and it said where it was and everything. It was going to be Friday night through Sunday afternoon. This last weekend. Didn't think much about it. You didn't go.
Yeah.
But it does occur to you that it's kind of strange that there would be a farmer's market anywhere in the city, period. So, but, you didn't take time.
I might well have gone along to that, thinking I could get some proper food.
Right. Well, for whatever reason, you didn't.
Yeah.
Because it's already happened and we're moving on for right now. But my point is that you remember seeing that ad, and if you guys are thinking, if you've thought about the Nomad Market at all, it would not be difficult stretch for it to occur to you that maybe that was something to do code for the Nomad Market. So there you go.
I have also been wanting to check out the secondary menu at the Black Tacos for some grenades.
Okay. Well, we can come.
As have I.
You want to check that out as well?
Well, yeah. I mean, if they carry any of the stuff that I'm interested in, and they're willing to trade, but otherwise, I've got a feeling that doing trades with AK assault rifles is probably more Nomad Market than Black Taco. But I don't know.
You guys are limited what you've seen of that place. They're more like seller. They're weapons dealers. They get shipments of stuff in, and they sell it out piecemeal and in bulk. But yeah, you haven't seen anything where people are bringing individual things into them.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted the Nomad Market. But if they've got some flashbangs as an example, I wouldn't say no.
Okay. Well, let's see. So, do you guys want to just Pac-Man, do you want to go to would you like to go to Black Tacos too?
Not particularly. I've kind of got what I've needed weapons-wise.
Okay. That's not really your... that's not really as a cop. That may not be your...
Yeah, it's probably not the best look.
Place. You know, there's that. Okay.
I think a gun rack will be something that the bus needs as well.
Well, you haven't got you don't know what she's done to it yet.
Yeah.
So, there's that. Okay, so you guys can make a quick run over to Black Tacos. Yes, they've got flashbangs. Let me look up a price for you. No, they won't take individual trades on used weaponry.
How about miniguns?
They won't take They won't take trades on individual. Or are you looking to buy miniguns?
No,
sorry,
I was just wondering what they might offer me for a minigun.
Oh, they are not interested in individual used weapons like that.
Not certain if it has been used.
If it's not new in the crate, it's used.
Yeah.
As far as they're concerned, it's used. I am trying to find you a price here.
Flashbangs are normally $20 a pop at base.
Okay. So at Black Taco, let's see. Are they in demand right now? They are 120 euro a piece right now.
Jesus.
Blame that die 10.
How about frag grenades?
What are they in the book? Or do we know?
I don't know.
Right there. Okay.
A frag grenade would be... One sec. It just happened to be on the various grenade pages.
Mm-hmm.
A frag grenade is...
let's see, that's the 25 millimeter.
Frag grenade is between 20 and 30 bucks again. 20 bucks for a frag as well.
Okay, so those are 80 a piece right now. Yep. Now there's a volume discount. If you buy them a dozen at a time, you get 25% off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be down to 60. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, I don't have the money to buy a dozen, even at 25% off.
Well,
I'll have a flash
carry. They don't do credit or anything. They're very much cash and carry.
No, I get that. I'll have one flashbang.
They will sell you a flashbang. And they have nothing but they have a ground up. They have a what they're calling a refried kibble burrito is the special of the day. Basically, they take kibble and grind it up and make it into a paste, kind of like refried beans, and make that into a burrito. Yeah, the real food pickings have been pretty slim lately, so that's what they have.
Well, they can't be the only takeouter in the area.
Well, over on that side, on this side of Charter Hill South, there's, well, it depends on what you're looking for, if you want to look for something else. But, okay. The coil lets you know bus should be ready like tomorrow. It is almost done. She's got a little bit of finishing touches she's going to want to do. And she asked that you not come by in between because she wants to surprise you with it.
Okay.
Okay. But she expects tomorrow it'll be ready.
Unless something comes up, I'll pop around in the evening.
Unless something comes up, something else comes up. Okay. So we got that. So we have a couple more. Let's see. I mentioned that stuff already. What else that we got today? There are, since you haven't done anything there yet, Mr. Pac-Man.
Yes.
You didn't have anything particular you want to do over this time, or now that it's a couple weeks later on Monday? You do have a stack of
if I've gotten anything juicy as far as bounties come by.
That's what I was trying to, I just was blanking on the word bounty for some reason. You've got a stack of them there. Let's see. We've got, let me pull up, what do I need? That's a 9. I need to look for this. Go to my handy dandy list of stuff here.
Yeah, I have to check if my name turns up on his list. Of course, he doesn't know what my real name is, but...
Where is that list? Okay.
But he's a cop, so he would probably recognize the family name.
Yeah, might do.
All right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, it would be like recognizing Corleone.
Okay. So there's one of them in there for a tech. This guy has actually created some cyberware that is causing some problems. It apparently has an AI in it or something is the assumption, but it seems to attach itself. If somebody will find it laying around, they pick it up, they think they're going to sell it, it attaches it to them, and they go cyber-psycho almost immediately.
Mm.
And then,
Nice.
Yep. So whatever happens to that guy, C-SWAT takes him out, or the local police, whatever it is, whatever happens to that person, it gets put up for a while, and they figured out, they've been able to track it back. The cops have been tracing this. They've got over a dozen people that have effectively been murdered directly by this piece of cyberware, and then all the people that have been injured or killed because of the person that it infected, that it attached itself to.
Mm-hmm.
They were able to track down who they believe created it, so there is a wanted out for this person. Any information, anything, there's rewards. If you capture him, there's the biggest reward. And they do want him alive, and there are separate bounties on him alive from Arasaka and from Militech, as well as the criminal system, police.
Mm. I'm wondering if he's got any of these.
Surprises.
What's that?
Why doesn't that surprise us?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's got any more of these.
There is actually, as you go through this list, there is actually a person, a person who has been, and they're not sure how he's doing it, and this is just a report. This is more of a report than we're after this particular person, because they don't know for sure who it is yet. But apparently there's somebody that has somehow been getting very candid shots, a video of some relatively high-ranking corporates from out, and the angle of the video would indicate it was shot from like right outside their apartments, their condos, their houses, whatever it was, wherever they live. and is putting it out to be broadcast for free. So there's some rewards on that. If anybody can provide information, that'll help figure out who this is or to capture that person. And if any of these sound interesting and you want more detail or want to pursue,
yeah, that first one with the cyber psycho stuff, I figure I'll definitely pursue that one, and if nothing else, give a call to my good friend Morales, see if he wants in on some action.
Well, there's some pretty huge things up there. As you've been watching this one it's been out for about a week. It originally came out by the police about a week ago. And then right after the police report came out, was kind of not public, but public to people with the correct licenses like you have. Almost immediately after that, Militech first, and then Arasaka came out with their bounty. And then they've kind of had a bidding war back and forth. They keep going up and up and up. Arasaka is currently on top. They are offering 30,000 euro for the capture of this live, intact, no major injuries, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And Militech, their last one out was at 25,000, and then that was just this morning.
Okay.
That Arasaka went to 30 just this morning. So,
You know what might be a possibility on that?
Pretty significant.
Would be if you collect
Really
the police bounty on the guy and then see how much Arasaka and Militech would pay for one of his items.
I was thinking, see, you're a cop. From the way you've played it, you probably wouldn't want to. But I would be looking at the collect a bounty from one or the other, from one of the three, and then see how much one of the others would be willing to pay to go extract him.
Well, that would be interesting, but
I'm thinking if the guy's got several of those cyberware things in a box in his house.
I don't know about that, but I definitely want to collect any data he's got because I have a plan for that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, my plan is if he's got some of the items in a box somewhere, is to grab the box, then with a pair of tongs take one out, put it on the floor, then I stand back and film whoever picks it up.
Go to some, crowded square or market or, open air market or something like that and just kind of set it on a park bench and see what happens.
Not my plan. My plan would be to get all the data and then see if we can haggle with Militech over there and get on board with them for a licensed contractor there for Morales and myself in exchange for the info, so that we don't have to keep paying licensing fees and this and that for the extended weapon stuff. See if we can just be on the Militech payroll and then just be under the corporate blanket for as far as the high stuff goes.
I was thinking more along the lines of leaving that item of cyberware on the table in the food court in the shopping mall.
If I could point out, you guys are this is completely meta at this point. You haven't actually gotten together and started.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just a comment there. You may want to actually.
But yeah, I would definitely first go to Morales and see if he's interested, and then see if Stringer wants to come get some footage of this. It's not going to be his normal bloody take, but it might be a nice sensation piece if he can write a nice talk over from the footage.
So you're going to give, I assume you're going to give him a call or find him at his condo or whatever, and you guys
just knock on the door
and discuss it. Yes. Yeah. So there's a knock at your door, Miss Ellis.
Open.
It echoes hollowly.
What was that?
Yeah. It's open.
Ah,
You get the speaker.
I step on in. Marsalis, my friend. It's been a little while. Something came up on the teletext, and I could not help but think that it's the perfect time that you and I got the gang back together for a little bit. And I hand him the sheet of paper to let him look over it.
And pretty much you've heard the description already, most of it. To give you guys a little bit more information, the only description, they don't have a picture of the item, the cyberware picture of it, but the description they've been able to gather is that it looks kind of like a is it a bracer that goes on your upper arm?
No.
Right.
No.
No, bracer is
Van braces and bracers are your forearm. Up high
Right,
would be a pauldron on the shoulder.
or
And
a,
is it a choss that goes down?
I can't
remember.
Whichever the correct term for the correct piece of armor is, but in any case, it's one that, or a there's another term also, but anyway, it goes around your upper arm, but then it has a component of it that seems to extend around the back and attaches just below the neck to the spinal column, taps in somehow.
The rarer brace.
So, yep, it does. It clamps on here. It does that, and that's all they've only been able to gather that through video and pictures of the people that has infected, and being able to say, well, all these people seem to have this same item on their arm, and it all seems to have the same component. And through other investigation, that's that's what the item is. So you guys can discuss.
My first thought, Marsalis, is we might want to hit up good old Doc Ock, because if anybody's got a line on who this man might be, and also has an out to get this guy out of the way so that his job becomes less dangerous, it might be the good doctor.
Sounds like a plan to me. I mean, we need to something to bear in mind is this guy, he's probably gonna chuck this on people to turn them into psychotic bodyguards.
Well, that's the good thing about a cyber psycho, is they don't take instruction well. So it would be it would be a last ditch effort, and one of us would be able to deal with the cyber psychos while the other one detained said runner.
Oh yeah.
Actually, it sounds more like idiot finds piece of unknown tech and plugs it into his brain.
Well, it sounds like it plugs itself in. Idiot picks up unknown piece of tech, sees what it does, and it latches on and goes for the gusto. It monkey paws the poor lad, giving that unforeseen consequence. So yeah.
But the other thing, looking at those values, we ain't going to be the only ones trying to take this guy down.
No, definitely not. That would be the number one reason why I didn't go after it solo, was because the number indicated a team effort.
Yeah, there's going to be some pretty big guns going after this type of layout.
The code name they're using for this guy, because again they don't know exactly his real name or anything, they're calling him Copper Pauldron.
Copper Pauldron?
Copper Pauldron.
Okay.
This is a copper. The piece of cyberware that they're using to connect all these things, that it is copper in color, like it's been polished copper. They don't know if it's actually copper, but that's what the color looks like.
Fair enough. Well, I think we should see if Stringer's game to record this, if he wants to do a ride along.
Yeah.
And go see about it because, on the other side of things, since we're going to, or the plan as far as I see it is to go hit up Doc Ock anyways, is if somebody gets in the way, we'll have plenty of meat for the good doctor.
Well, there is that.
So then, yeah, we'll head over to Stringer's room. I think that's a floor up, or is it the same floor as Marsalis?
I'm on third.
I'd have to go look it up. It's okay. You can go to his room. If it becomes important enough, I can go pull up the notes on that one. But yeah. So you're going to Stringer's?
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Make sure I caught that right. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah. So Stringer, there's a knock on your door, assuming you are home. Well, there's no. There is a knock on your door regardless.
Yeah.
Home, you hear it.
Yeah, I'll check the camera.
You see those two?
Yep.
You see Pac-Man and Marcellus outside.
Lens, open up, dollar signs.
And it actually, let's see. Let's see how this works here. Almost a failure. Yeah, actually, it looks like a good clear picture and all that. It when you first turned it on, it kind of faded out back in and a wave went through it, but then it looks perfect.
Yep, I'll go answer the door.
Oh, Stringer, we got a job if you want to come.
Yep.
It's not a small one, buddy. You might want to bring the pepper box. And I handed the paper and asked if he'd like it, or if he would be so kind as to invite us in so we don't discuss this in the middle of the hall.
Yep.
Seems like an idea.
All right. Well, then I will see my way in if he lets us.
You're not gonna fire at him on the way in or activate the autocannon or anything like that?
Nope. Hey, I picked the right suit this time.
But it could be so much fun if you did.
Well, that would be an interesting go. I actually don't think that the 9mm can get through what I'm wearing.
Okay, you actually, if you remember that designer that sent you the other stuff?
Yep.
They actually sent you, she sent you another suit. And that is your natural 10 wardrobe and style. That she sent you another suit and it just fits you perfectly. And this one, let's see. This one will not, however, fit over the top of your battle gear.
Yep.
So, however, it is an SP-15 on its own. So there you go. Okay, so you guys
that's fairly good.
all in the same room.
So, Stringer, you
Stringer is macking out. He's looking pretty good here. He's wearing this. It would appear to be alligator skin suit, dark like what's his name in Rush Hour 2?
Oh, Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker in Rush Hour 2. That alligator suit he had at the casino. Yeah, that's what kind of looks like that kind of style.
Jesus, Stringer, real animal skin this time of year? The hell are you rolling in? Well, whatever. But join us on this job and you'll afford another one. I'll tell you that much. We got a 4-digiter coming in from some of the big boys.
Yep. Good. I'll get my kit ready.
I give him the quick brief and ask if he's heard anything on the airwaves about this guy that might clue us into any of his local stops or anything that sort of piques Stringer's intuition.
Yeah. I'll check on the news reports for cyber psychos and basically look at the places where they've first been reported.
The map should have changed for everybody. This is the design that is embossed on this copper arm or copper piece.
Yeah.
The man watched a lot of Legend of the Hidden Temple.
It's very intricately designed. That's one of the reasons they were able to figure it out and track between these different events, that it was probably the same piece of cyberware because it is so unique looking.
Yeah, someone's got to think about Mesoamerican art.
But
Yeah.
So you're gonna do a little bit of research there. Is that what you said?
Yep.
Stringer?
Yeah, see if I can find out where, where there's, there's been reports on, the cyber psycho incident.
There's a whole list in the documentation that Pac-Man gave you. There's actually a list of incidents that that the police discovered that they believe are all caused by the same piece of cyberware.
Yeah, I'll gladly provide him with the info, see if he can tell anything of interest around those locations that might be a casual viewing area beyond the crowd somewhere nice.
Well, I think
see if we can draw
connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, where would you film this from, Stringer?
Yeah. Is we'll basically get out the map and make a note of the places where the cyber psycho incidents have been occurring.
Well, did you set up that giant, that big screen that you, that big paper thin? Did you set that up at your place?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. You can actually use that and pull up a map and put dots on it, and it's a touch screen and all that too.
Yep, I'll do that.
So you got this, whatever I said it was, 100 and something inch. You can bring up a map of the city, put in the spots where these events that are known to take place were. Kind of zoom in, zoom out. So in your point, were you going to try and figure out where it might be filmed from? Was that what you were saying?
Yeah, looking for something which is a vantage point.
Yeah, because I figured the dude probably wants to watch his work from a good vantage point, so we might be able to garner clues from those locations.
Well, you've got... Let me see here.
So he also probably wants to film it for, putting together a presentation for whoever he's going to try and sell it to.
So there was one... Let me see here. I don't have the labels, which town is which. They're actually kind of scattered. There was one in Japantown, which if I recall right is in here. There was one in corporate, right on the edge here at the intersection of corporate, going into corporate center area. There was one, and again, I don't have the exact name, but I believe Old Downtown is up here someplace. So there was one at Old Downtown. Now, you want to roll, let's see, Stringer, you want to roll your photo and film?
Yep.
There was one up there. There was one in the parking lot at the stadium. They were pretty much all over they were all inside Night City, but they were pretty much all over the city.
22.
Okay. As you're doing this, you're pulling up these events, and you go back and you pull up the news footage and stuff. You will notice a couple of things. The style of the recording, the style of whoever took the footage seems to be very similar, if not the same. But they don't all have the same byline in what's been broadcast. But it really, you would suspect it's the same person that filmed all of these. And they were all filmed from a very advantageous spot as far as the film, what was actually put on the news, whatever the police were able to not capture, but take as evidence, that kind of stuff. Oddly enough,
like they knew where it'll be looking.
Like whoever was doing the filming that got on the news knew where this was going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's probably the guy who's making the stuff who's filming it. Then he's giving the film to other medias who are passing it off as their own.
Pretty good quality. Somebody, if it was the same, it wouldn't be as a media. Whoever shot this is a media. They are professional. And whoever created this piece of tech is a tech. Yeah. It's
a team probably.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Or one employed by the other or something would be a reasonable leap.
See, I knew we should come to the lens. He'd have the right instinct for the thing. Do you think you could pull some strings there, Stringer, and see who provided the film?
I don't think other guys are just going to give up a source.
Well, I mean, you're kind of a star there. You might be able to pull some weight.
See, you will notice not all of them, but like 75, 80, over 3/4 of these events did end up on that same show that has been using your material. Of the events of the guy of whoever detached himself, going psycho.
You could pitch it to them as you're trying to look for a collab.
Give them multiple angles on the next event.
Yes.
Hey, there's an idea.
Yeah, I think I'll call the producer or whoever the person is that I've been dealing with.
You have been dealing with an executive PA.
Yep.
Kind of like an executive assistant to the producer. I haven't given you a name or anything, have I?
No.
Okay. One moment. Oh, those are terrible names. I'm sorry. I tried to do as a random generator, and they're terrible. Omen. That's the guy's name. Omen Brown. There you go. Why not?
Yep.
Omen Brown is the EPA, so to speak. And you can give him a call, and he will answer. And he will say, Stringer, what have you got for us? Next show's coming up in a few hours. Do you have something fresh?
No, we're working on something today, though. But,
all right.
I was calling to ask about the guy who's been giving you the cyber psycho stuff recently.
Oh, we get all kinds of cyber psycho stuff. In fact, we get hundreds more pieces than we actually, well, maybe not hundreds, but we get a lot more pieces than we actually use.
Yeah.
If you be a little more specific.
Yeah, I'll list some of the shows.
Okay, like the episode numbers or whatever.
Yeah, or however they're identified.
Those, he says. Yeah, those have been really popular, actually. If you could get us some video on one of those, definitely could use it. But actually, well, we would be interested in using it. But honestly, the people that we've been getting it from, they've just been sending it in. They haven't requested any payment or anything. It keeps coming back. It's kind of weird, actually. I'll say that, heck, if you could track this guy down, because we'd really like to get an exclusive with him, whoever's shooting these things. But so if you could track him down, we'd be interested in that for sure too. But it's a random email it comes in through our website. But every one of them have come directly through the website. And the guy we've got that maintains the site for us said that that it just comes in. That when he tries to see who it is, it just says anonymous. But we haven't. They haven't approved the expense. I've been telling the boss James, but I've been telling Rick James that we need to hire a good net runner to go track that down, but he hasn't done it yet. So if you can figure out who it is, we might do a trade or some some compensation for the information.
Yep, I'll see what I can do because I'm looking for the guy myself.
Just make sure you only deal with me. All right?
Yep, will do.
The man wants a crew boost out of this one. Marcellus, isn't your brother a net runner?
Yep, I was going to bring that up.
You mean the one who hero worships me?
Yes, the one who helped us with the chip situation.
Give me just a minute, guys. I take about a minute.
All right,
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Helped us with the chip and got me an apartment.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Look.
I'll be right back, guys. One of my granddaughter is heading out.
Yep.
All right.
I'll be right back.
No worries. Though honestly, school this big and what have you, gonna have to cut him in on it. If we use him.
Yep.
Another thing to be aware of is that the finish on this piece is really unique.
Yeah.
So, whilst putting the word out on the street about, people that are working on their own cyberware prototypes and whatever and decent techies is going to bring you a big list. Putting the word out on the street for specifically this type of finish, like the materials needed to create this type of finish, could put us at least in with the person who's supplying the material, which we can then talk to, interrogate, threaten, harm if necessary, to spill the beans on who they're actually supplying it to.
Okay, I am back. Sorry about that, guys. I realized as I was getting up that I misspoke. My daughter was leaving with my grandson.
Yep.
The little tiny baby. But I had to get up and at least let him, say bye and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
So, okay, but I am back. And so, what have you guys decided to proceed, or are you still discussing how to proceed? And he did, after saying goodbye and stuff. Omen did disconnect, but he did. If I think I said it out loud. He wanted to make it sure that it was whatever you guys found, whatever you found out, Stringer, about this. He wanted you to keep it just between you and him. He was very particular about that part.
Yeah, basically we were going to see, if Marcellus's brother could find out anything, because of him being a net runner.
Right. Let's see. And that, I'm looking it up. But what's your brother's name?
It was Archibald. Ice Pick.
Archie. Ice Pick. Okay. That's right. Okay. So you're going to give him a call?
Yeah, definitely. And I've said, though, that, score this big with that sort of payout, we're going to have to cut him in on it.
Yeah, that's...
He might not hear a worship and everything else, but, he's still got bills to pay as well.
Yes.
No, that's fine. He did us a solid last time, so it's about time we cut him in on some of it. Plus, it'll just engender further working relationships. So yeah.
So when you're ready, you can give him a call. And I am trying to remember if I set up. I didn't record stats for him. Okay. So anyway, give him a call.
Archie.
You get a slightly mechanical voice saying, "Hey, brother, I'm kind of tied up right at the moment." And then there's a 3-second pause. But what can I do for you? What's up? Oh, actually, is it business?
It's business.
He says, "Hold on just a second." You hear some clicks, and there's some other weird noises, and the line transfers. The caller ID and stuff on your phone just goes to all stars. The caller ID, but the info on the call, just changes to all stars. And it's still that same mechanical-ish. It's definitely his voice, but it's synthesized in some way. And he says, I'm still working another project right at the moment, but well, yeah, what you got? I've done what I can to secure the line. Nothing's perfect, but I did what I could. So what's up?
Yeah, got some beers. So there's what's the best way to call it? Altruistic, only really not media knocking around at the moment. Dumping footage of cyber psychos on whichever channel it is now.
Yeah, channel 23 probably.
On channel 23 via random emails. It's always the same type of cyber psycho, some new experimental tech that sets people off instantaneously as far as I can work. Really could do with finding out who this media is.
Okay. Can you give me anything to go on? And what's the pay on this one? It's the same synthesized voice still.
Yeah. So look, working an angle to collect 5-figure bounty. And
Whoa! It's a 4-figure bounty. Wait, hold on. No, 5 figures. You're right. My brain can't. My brain can't into number 10,000. Yeah. I was like, are we absolutely upselling? Whoopsies. Never mind. Brain part.
So it's a 5-figure bounty.
You're right.
And you know, obviously there's more on the team, but cut you in for 20% of the bounty when if it all pays out.
But hey, I'm in. Sounds great. Cool. Okay. Oh, hold on. Then the line goes dead. Yeah, the line just went dead.
Yeah.
And your phone rings.
Yeah.
It's him. And it's his real regular normal voice there. He says, where you still in Night City?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I stay at your place for a while?
Of course.
Says, can I? Okay, good. All right. I'll see you in a few hours. And he hangs up.
Sweet.
His tone definitely changed. If it wasn't clear there, he was in the net doing something while he was talking to you.
Yeah.
And then
got that.
as the rolls going through there, when that one hit, his tone and the just before the one on the 4, his tone changed significantly. On the 1, the line disconnected.
Yeah. They screwed up along the way.
Oh boy, made an oopsie.
He made an oopsie, and yeah, no doubt I'm going to have to deal with some corporate strike team tracking him down now.
You get a text just a couple minutes after that last call. You get a text that gives you a flight number, what's it called? What the hell are they called? Directory. I forget I'm trying to remember the term. Anyway, it's one where it takes off from like one part of the globe, goes all the way up just like stratosphere or something, and then comes straight back down, and it's
a suborbital hop.
Suborbital. You get a flight number for one of those for a orbital air flight. That's kind of what I was looking for, thinking of. You get an orbital air flight number that's going to be coming into the port, the Night City port, in about 3.5 hours.
Okay.
So, there you go.
All right. So,
and
yep. Whilst waiting for him to arrive, I mean, look, staring at film footage and stuff like that's great, but getting out on the streets and speaking to people is even better. And that's something that Marsalis is actually not bad at. So he wants to sort of go out and be hitting up the local, within at least the local vicinity, because obviously he can't travel too far because he's got to go and meet his brother. But the slightly more specialist suppliers in terms of tech, as in either equipment or material.
Contacts at the moment? Have anybody in particular, or do you want to just do a general? Or you guys have mentioned Doc Ock before.
We could hit up Doc Ock. We could see if
somebody wants to do streetwise and just see what you can pick up.
We could see if Tin Lizzie has any info on this, since she's the fixer from my past, who specializes in info.
Yep.
And who does what in the city.
Yeah, and as I said, it's basically trying to find about the material, because this polished copper finish is really unique. So finding out perhaps who supplied that gives us another angle to hit up.
Well, and just to confirm, there is not a confirmation that it is actually copper, just that it appears it has the copper, polished copper color with that.
Yeah, but that's still unique.
Okay.
It's not necessarily that it's copper, but it's still a very unique finish.
Design and stuff, right? Okay. So what do you guys want to do first? So you Streetwise roll, or are you just going to go out and try to talk to people?
Yeah, basically, you know, you're going with the whole sort of, you're looking for those sort of material finish suppliers, and the chatting and that sort of thing in terms of, well, whether it be on the phone and talking to the secretaries and that sort of aspect, but just trying to sort of get hints around someone that's taking in a lot of this particular material.
So are you at this point just doing it phone calls, or are you going to go out on the street?
I mean, if there are people in places within sort of easy reach, I'll go out on the street, because in person's always
You're not
better.
far from a few things in the area.
Yeah.
But, okay, so if you're just going to go a quick walk around, it takes you go for a walk, you go talk to just people on the street. This is just a general streetwise, not a particular finding anybody in particular. You spend about 2 hours. You put out. Are you willing to pay a little bit, try to get some information?
Sure, of course. I mean, there's always a bit of give and take in this.
You put out. Oh wow. Do you have 500?
Yeah.
Okay. You get a lead here, and it costs you 100. You get a lead over here, and you get a little piece over here, and these different people just keep directing you different directions. You end up spending 500 euro. And what
Broke again.
Random dice. What can I say? Could just easily have come up a 1, you know. Okay, so you do find out that there is a lot of rumors going around that, if somebody spots that particular thing laying somewhere, or spots that piece of cyberware or something with a similar design on it, to not touch it. It's becoming known that you just don't want to mess with it. You actually do meet up, going through all this, you meet up with a couple members of Maelstrom, who are actually actively searching for it as well. And actually are willing, they're a lot more cordial than is normal for Maelstrom. They are actually, this is actually on your block area here, but they give you a number, and they actually offer to pay you for information if you can help them locate the device. But
cool.
You know, they're Maelstrom, so you know they're probably just gonna they're more fighting between them to decide who's gonna wear it first. Well,
there you go, Stringer.
And it is with your 17 in the end, your best lead is that the Maelstrom are looking for it too, and all your other leads and stuff that went around that you were paying for ended up leading you to these 2 guys that were also looking for it, that really didn't help you much because you didn't really roll quite high enough. Sorry.
No, you know. No, that's fun.
The goal for the streetwise goal to get some useful information or target number is a 20.
Wait, but you exploded, right?
You just rolled a 17. His die was a 3.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I see.
Look, you know, I'm not exactly bad at streetwise with 5 streetwise and a call of 9, but that still means that I've got to hit a 6 or better for.
Yeah.
So I'm only a 50-50 for getting useful information.
But so you got that. So you spend 2 hours doing that. And what is the rest of you guys gonna got anything else you're gonna try to do to gain some information, or do you just want to wait for the net runner to try to find something? Anybody else want to try doing that?
Well, yeah, I think we should wait for the netty to see if he can pull up any leads, and then we can hit up Tin Lizzie and use those to try to get us closer. Unless Stringer's got an idea.
Excuse me. Okay. Yep. Stringer, do you have another idea? Okay.
Well, I think hitting the streets and, instead of paying for information, is to interview people and see if I can pick up the information I need.
There you go.
Because,
do some man on the interviews and try to get the information.
Yeah, because, some people you hand over some money, but for others, the chance of being on TV is more valuable than a couple of hundred eddies.
No? Do you have...
I do actually have interview, but I also have persuasion and fast talk.
Do you also have Streetwise or not?
I do have Streetwise, yes.
Okay. All right. So Marcellus is spending the next couple hours. He spends his 2 hours doing that. Do you want to spend some time doing that? You can roll Streetwise and interview. And depending on your interview roll, I'll treat that as a bonus to your Streetwise.
Well, the interview was good.
Yeah.
The Streetwise, not so.
Let's see. So, man, guys are coming so close. I was going to give you 5. I was going to give you a point for everything over 20 on your interview. So plus 5.
Does my special ability credibility add to the interview?
What you can, let me see.
Or my rep?
Let's see. What is your pitch to convince people? Your rep and or your credibility might. What would be your pitch? Your why would they give you more information than they might otherwise? Because you know what I mean. How would you influence them to do that?
I might throw in a bit of persuasion and fast talk as well, but it'll be along the lines of asking them if they've heard about this, recent space of instant cyber psychos that's been caused by people finding this item, and then, essentially wording things along the lines of, are you wired in enough to have heard anything juicy about this? Anything worth, putting in my latest piece?
I'll give you 5 minutes of fame for bringing down the copper fulcrum.
Yeah.
What is your? I'm trying to remember how your credibility, if it goes against a particular stat or if it varies. I don't recall. Just go and do a credibility roll. Let's see what it comes out to. Give you another chance. Speak.
Incoming.
Yeah, the credibility seems to be linked to one of the stats.
Yeah, I figured it would be. I wasn't sure.
Might be
which one.
int.
But again, though, it's just not quite enough. This one is it's just hard information to find out.
Yep.
So you made your valiant attempt to find some info. Pac-Man, do you have any particular sources other than waiting for the net runner?
Well,
You want to try?
not yet. I think we want to.
Okay.
I'm gonna save off until we can get some more info to sort of direct the search. See if we can get that easier.
Okay. Well, in that case, so Stringer, you spent. Actually, I'll do the roll on this. 3 hours doing your interviews and stuff, and you got some interesting responses. But in the end, you got a bunch of man in the street stuff that you might be able to fill in somewhere, using some other something somewhere, but no really useful for sure information. Some people that started to try to say, "Oh yeah, I know all about it," but then the more you tried to dig into it and try to using your interview skill, you realize that they were just trying to get more camera time. They didn't really have a clue. So, Marcellus, it is time to go pick up or send a vehicle for or whatever, however you want to handle it.
Yes. It's taxis.
You can do combat cab or execu cab, or what's your preference?
Cheapest bloody thing I can find.
That would be what's that other?
No, pedicab.
What, a pedicab? That would be the cheapest.
Yeah, not a pedicab.
That would be quite a distance, though. There might be a bit of a distance issue,
Yeah, at least one step up from a pedicab.
What was that? What is that other cab company's name in Night City? There's one that sort of competes with Combat Cab, I believe. One moment. Yeah, I'll just, if you don't find it here pretty quick. Red Cab, that's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
Okay. They are not armored, they're not anything else, but they are the biggest cab company in town. They are the best deal, short of finding a if there was an Uber or something like that, which there isn't right now. Although there might become one. Anyway, so all right, red cab out to the port. You pick him up. He is wearing a really horrible disguise. You don't even have to roll awareness notice. You can, right? You immediately figure out who it is. I almost got to ask you to roll a cool check so you don't just burst out laughing at him. It's that bad.
It's gonna be done.
And he goes through. He offers up a passport as he's going through the checkpoint. Just don't roll a 1. Oh geez. Okay. Okay. I can give him another. Here. That's a 7 and a 1. Okay, so that works. That works out. Okay, so he offers up the passport. You're watching this from afar. How airports used to be. Where you could come inside and you could see the international gates and stuff and watch for people coming in and all that. And you can see him coming through the passport stuff because obviously he was from another part of another country. He was coming in. He hands up his documents and looks up at the guy. And as he looks up at him, part of this beard thing he's wearing kind of goes, kind of does this, partially falls off and just kind of wags a couple of times right there. And the guard looks at him and looks at the documents and starts to punch something. As soon as he starts to punch something in, your brother hands him another folder, another little passport-sized folder. And if you want to roll an awareness notice at this point, you can, but you don't have to, of course.
Oh, I think I will.
Yeah, it's enough. Your brother's just not good at this kind of stuff. He's really good net runner. He's not very good at the other stuff. And as he passes, the guard kind of does a quick look around himself, and puts his hand completely over this other thing, and kind of, like he's playing poker, peeks under the card kind of thing, and palms it, and it disappears. And you will see, though, as he's picking it up, you can actually through a reflection. Again, some people just aren't good at this. This is the guard that rolled this. That other one was the guard accepting it. Okay, one of those mirrors, one of those corner mirrors, so that the other guards around can see that nobody's trying to sneak something past the guard that's doing the inspection, or get something in or behind that guy or whatever. One of those corner mirrors. You can see that the second thing he handed up had a wad of euros in it, a pretty thick wad of euros in it. And almost immediately as this happens, another guard, the one that was, just the next position over, he walks over. Oh my God, these rolls are horrible. God. He walks over, says something, and some bills change hand between the two guards. And your brother's starting to sweat. Your brother's just he's starting to lose it. You can see it any second now. He's just going to try to run for it, which isn't going to work. And then he takes a breath. He actually, you see him kind of to put his arms kind of like this. And then one underneath here, it's almost like he's searching for something under his arm. And as he does that, he just suddenly becomes like a cucumber. He is perfectly composed. The look on his face changes. Everything he completely, like he's stroking the beard, fixes the mustache, and just stands there perfectly. And the guards do have a little bit of a conversation, and they let him through.
Archie. What is up with you, boy?
He comes through, and he actually, as soon as he sees you, he rocks. He comes right up to you, and actually he's does not sound like himself at this point. He is very cool, very almost cold. And he says, he says in a weird South African accent that I can't do very well, but that's what it is. He says, "Good afternoon, brother." And shall we go? We should go, he says. And he has just, like I said, this perfect mask of, whatever. And you guys start to head out, I guess, unless you want to do something else.
No, let's get him as far away from here as quickly as possible.
As you guys are heading out, it's no problem to get a cab here. It about 5 minutes from when you saw him fold his arms, and it was like he was doing something under his one arm. Almost exactly 5 minutes later, that whole mask, that coolness just kind of disappears. He just breaks out in flop sweat, and just about collapses. And he will tell, and he doesn't say anything though. He just keeps his mouth shut while you guys are in the cab. The ride is going to cost, the ride there and back, it's, okay. So no, that's not what I wanted to do. No, that's weird. Okay. You must run into traffic on the way back or something, because we're going to believe the dice. 350.
Jesus, that's a lot. Well, that is me wiped out too.
The guy on the way back, the traffic is really, the second half of the trip is what is more expensive. And the driver is actually, both cases, the drivers are very professional, very polite. And on the way back, he actually apologizes. But the traffic, the rates are all based on time and mileage. And the traffic is bad enough. It takes you almost twice as long to get back.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe we should quit and drive a cab.
He actually offers you a card with a coupon on it for your next ride.
Well, I'll take it. Hopefully it's free, because I can't pay for any more rides.
So, but once you guys get out of the cab, you start coming back into the building, unless you guys do something else in between. As soon as you get out of the cab and you're coming back in the building, your brother just it all starts spilling out how he had this job. It was going to be a really simple thing. Everything was going fine. You called and you were talking about that thing, this other job, and it was okay. It wasn't your fault. It had nothing to do with the phone call. He said, but then a SysOp from the data fortress they were trying to get into, that he was trying to hack, caught on to him and sent some ice after him. And he just barely got his emergency disconnect triggered. And the reason he ended up hanging up on you, he actually, he had to use the emergency disconnect had to fry to make sure he didn't get traced. His cyber modem, his phone, all that stuff. He had to go to a backup phone and backup computer in order to get away. And he was so scared, so concerned that they might have tracked him, that's why he went through all the disguise and leaving town immediately and all that stuff. And he says I even had to use my auto injector, and he points at his arm. I thought for sure those security guards were gonna take me in, were gonna arrest me. He says, do you think 10,000 was too much of a bribe to get through the checkpoint?
Jesus, Archie. Yeah, 10K was probably a little steep.
He says, okay, I'll try less next time. But I wanted to make sure. You said you needed help, so I wanted to make sure I got through okay. So you guys are going to go up to, where are you guys going? He looks terrible, by the way. He's got this disguise has continued to fall apart. He's been sweating for 45 minutes or whatever. So yeah.
Go up to the apartment so he can clean himself up.
All right. And then he'll take 15 or 20 minutes or something and get cleaned up and change of clothes and all that. And you see him, he's drinking a Nicola when he comes out. He looks much, much better.
And then hook up with Stringer and Pack.
Random die rolls are better than anything I could write. Sometimes. Anyway. Just crazy how that works out. So, you're going to hook back up. So, Marcellus, you had your couple of hours of looking. Stringer had your 3 hours of doing interviews and stuff. Pac-Man, you just stayed at the building.
Yeah, for now. Yeah.
And you accomplished just as much as they did.
Spend a little less money, too.
Yep. And so you guys are going to all get back together somewhere?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I think we need to go to Marcellus's room, right, for the kid to get set up?
Yeah, that's where he has some stuff that he left from his last visit. But if you're going to tell him the story, I assume you're going to tell him about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see if he'll go find what he can find. Okay. So he will jump. Takes all that info on the stories, the police reports, all that stuff. If whatever's not already digital, he finds digital copies of, compiles it all, and starts doing some looking.
And yeah, checking into the emails, seeing if you can figure out where they were sourced from.
Let's see. It takes him about 6 minutes. And you hear coming from his cyber deck, you hear his voice, that same synthesized version of his voice that you heard before on the phone. He says, okay, I'm into the TV show's website. Found their logs. Wow. That was easy. He comes back out and he says all this stuff was done from the same data term. These all came from a data term that is located. He actually pulls up a map on the computer, pulls up the coordinates, and this data term. Well, and as he's doing that, he actually does something else too. As he pulls that up, he says as I was collating and bringing all that data together, I noticed there was a pattern. Let's get over here. He says, if you take the bottom, this face drawing, the face thing that's on there, and you got these, and you got these, each point of like the nose here, and each point around the eye. If you line all that stuff up with this map, you draw lines to all that stuff, it comes to this data term. That is, if I can find my note here. I'm sorry, guys. It is right there. It is right on that corner, on the southeast corner, that intersection. So, yeah, that's where it was. I tried to find some cameras, but hacking a data term is a lot harder than hacking a TV show's website.
Yeah, sure. This one might have to be a physical surveillance job.
Yeah. What about
he did say there's some traffic cameras right around there, but I wasn't. I didn't, with everything that's happened recently, I didn't want to draw any more attention from, NCPD, so I didn't touch it.
Actually, I might be able to get you that footage. I call up my brother on the force. I go ahead and call up Sergeant Ricketts and see if I tell him I'm investigating, the copper pauldron stuff. And I'm running a lead right now, but I need traffic cam footage and I get the intersection and give it to Ricketts and see if he can hook that up for us.
He says, yeah, that's kind of high priority. I should be able to get that for you. He says, I kind of watch your back on that one though. There's been some rumors that there's a lot of stuff going on with the two corps with Arasaka and Militech that are really interested in that. Really very, very interested in this guy. So watch yourself. There's been a couple of other bounty hunters who called in, who filed reports that they were getting close to maybe tracking them down, and then we didn't hear from any further reports. We didn't hear from them again.
Well, that's why I came to you, bro. I didn't want
disappeared. So
didn't want any chance anybody was on the take, you know.
I appreciate that. I should be able to get that info. Give me a few minutes.
Perfect, no worries. I give him an email address that he can dump it off to, and tell him to stop by next week. We can have some dinner, maybe catch up, not to be such a stranger. Before setting some pleasantries and letting him get to work and telling our little net runner that the video should be here in a few minutes.
Okay.
I ask him. I
was going to roll.
I was like, "Is that going to be sufficient for you, sir?" Without getting any suspicious about you,
he does appreciate it. He will definitely see if he can get to come over next week. He goes to work looking for the stuff or trying to get you the info. He actually, just a couple of minutes later, a bunch of data starts coming into that address. Links to the archives for all those cameras since these incidents started, since the first incident that's recorded in all the documentation, happened.
And then we can correlate it with the times the emails came in or the footage was sent in.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody should do, what would that be? Library search? I don't know. What would be a good skill for that? Let's see. Put all that together.
I have library search.
We have a net runner.
You have a net runner. That's true. You just want to ask your NPC to do it, huh?
Well, he's the computer guy. The rest of us are not very computer.
I'll tell you,
computer savoy.
As you guys are just discussing. Let's see. As the information comes in, you see on the regular TV that you have there, Marcellus, in your place, you see various camera feeds pop up and disappear all over the screen. And he says, you really need a bigger TV, he says. But they keep disappearing. He goes in. Let's see how he does putting this all together. He actually comes up with footage from 2 different traffic cams, 2 different angles of somebody appears to be the same person every time, just within a couple minutes of every time one of those emails comes through. Now he says, he says, I hope you don't mind. I borrowed your login for your the bounty stuff that you do.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually finds he actually is able to get good enough picture of the face. He's able to do a search. He is still trying to search through. He is trying. He said he keeps trying to get to do a facial recognition search, but he's having trouble. This has been a couple more hours, by the way, that this is taking.
Yeah, this data term, was it a public one?
Yeah, it's just out on the street corner, out on the sidewalk. And he says, actually, it looks like that person is coming up to the... No. Oh, he says, I know what happened. He's been trying to get this to work. And as he's saying that, he's one of the cameras at that intersection that's actually facing the other direction. He actually caught that same person is right now, right there, walking down the street.
Well, how quickly can we get there?
He says, does that help? What kind of transportation do you guys have at this point? You still have the SUV, don't you?
If they didn't come to collect it, yeah.
Yeah. Nope, nobody's picked it up yet.
Fuck. If I'd known that, I'd have taken that to pick him up.
Didn't ask.
Well, that's fair.
I didn't ask. I was under the impression it got taken away at the end of the taking out the realtor.
Mm-mm. No, I said the information you guys had is that at some point somebody was supposed to be picking it up, but they didn't. There was no time as to when, and it was assumed that you guys could continue to use it in the meantime.
Well, then let's giddy up.
To not be surprised if it just got picked up at some point.
Mm.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Fuck.
I can take you to a chop shop if you want.
Well, if I would advise that if you did something like that with that SUV, you guys are responsible for it.
Mm.
Yeah, I would probably not want to be any part of that. Definitely not want to be any part of that. But
you got that. Bullet has a AV, assuming it runs. Because there was some question last time if it was going to. But he does have that police AV, that old police AV.
mm-hmm.
Well, how far away is it?
That'd probably be the fastest way. Well, what 1, 2, 3, like 6, 8 blocks.
Yeah.
You guys are at your building here, and the guy's on this street, and he's walking away at the moment. And here, just not too long, you're going to lose track of him with this camera.
Yeah, let's just roll out in the car for now, because
he's up here somewhere now, and that camera is.
If we try to boot the AV and it fails, we're losing time. And if it does work, we're just cutting Bullet in for another share.
Yeah.
Well, he wouldn't complain, I'm sure.
And an AV is really subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah, very subtle. Old police AVs just everywhere. Just blend right in.
We'll take the...
Yeah, which one of you can drive?
I can.
Good, because it's definitely not me.
I think Vex drove last time. He was your driver.
Vex is our driver.
Yep.
Because we had a Nomad, I didn't bother getting driving as a pickup skill.
It's okay. Stringer can do it, he said. He's got this. He's definitely got this, guys.
Okay, so you guys okay. You guys all jump in the vehicle. Luckily, there's a the keys the key for it. Well, you guys had already been authorized as users of the vehicle, and the key fob thing was actually left in. Vex actually had left it in the vehicle since it was locked up in the garage. We're going to say that, so you don't have any troubles with the alarm system. So you guys all jump in the SUV and you take off. And yes, Stringer, you are doing a terrific job. You are flying through the streets here. Are you speeding? Because you've got a very good roll. But are you speeding, or are you just driving as fast as you can within the speed limits?
It's Cyberpunk. He's speeding.
I'm definitely going to speed in the Charter Hill area.
Mm-hmm. So, like when you're going across the boulevard here, maybe somewhere in there, you'll cut it back.
Slow down to within the speed limit.
Okay.
Because that's the area where...
there's not much chance of having trouble then. Yeah, no problem. Okay.
Yeah. But it's also the area where they're likely to have security on hand.
Yeah, as you come across... And see if I've got the other map here. Make sure I've got my towns correct here. Maybe 1 minute.
Sorry, yeah, obviously got Bro to download an actual clear face shot of him to all of our phones so that we've got an image of him.
Oh yeah, did you guys invite him to go with you? Or comment?
If we can see whether he wants to guide us from the building or come with us.
I was thinking leaving him on Overwatch.
Well, if he's being hunted, he might not feel safe alone. So
There is that.
No, he's good. He's good to stay at the condo. He's
okay.
perfectly fine with that. That's a good plan. He says. I'll just stay here.
Perfect.
Where is that other? Oh, come on. Sorry, gentlemen. 1 moment. No, I had that, but it's not coming up. There. Okay. Oh, I've got one now. So, well, I had one. Darn it, Pinterest. I'm sorry, I was searching for a map, and when I clicked on the map to try to make it larger, it actually went away. Didn't help. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Okay, that is Japantown. This area, all over in here, is Japantown, and he's heading up, or the person, you assume it's a he. It was heading up this street here, so they are heading toward the medical center. You guys jump, so your drive is excellent. You get all the way up here. You're passing. You go, oh, yep, there's the data term right there that you guys were talking about, and the cameras and everything there.
Yep.
And you're within a block of them. You can see them up ahead walking down the street. How do you want to handle it? You know, run them over. You know, everybody gonna jump out and haul them into the back of the SUV or something, or.
We either take him on the run or we get out and we trail him from a distance and see where he takes us.
Someone gets out behind him. Someone gets out in front of him.
Well, you guys can trail him, or can trail him in the car. I suppose I could keep behind him fairly well. And if he attempts to off a runner down an alleyway, at least we'll have a guy on foot already.
Mm.
But the problem is he's probably the media, which means the techie or somebody else in their group is probably watching us from the cameras.
That's a good idea.
So if we do anything, we've got Overwatch and he's got Overwatch. So if we're gonna take him, it's got to be in a blind spot.
Yeah, or someone could follow him into a building if he goes into one.
That's what I'm saying. If one of us goes on foot, either me or Marsalis, either one would be good. Let's do Marsalis. He's better at martial arts. You can detain him. Don't kill him, slamming him into the ground, but get him in a nice grapple if you think he's gonna pull a runner on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yeah. No. I'll slip out and I will do stealth and shadow track to stay on him without giving myself away.
So Stringer, you're gonna how far back? Let's just do it this way. How far back from the guy, from your target, are you gonna stop for Marcellus to get out?
5 yards.
About 15. Okay, 5 yards, about 15 feet. Okay, or more or less 5 meters. Close enough.
Mm.
Okay. And let's see. So that's going to be a. Okay, so Marcellus, you hop out. You're going to try to approach him stealthily.
Yeah, well, I'm basically using stealth and shadow track. So when I hop out, I'll just give some jibber jabber about thanks for the lift, guys. You know, much appreciated. So not like trying at that point to arouse suspicion, but just as a general cheers, guys. We'll catch you again. We'll have to go out for some drinks again soon.
That would be persuasion, fast talk. See how convinced. Because you're close. You're not that far from him. You're really not that far from him. And this is Monday afternoon in the city. You're into the edge of the medical center area. There are a lot of professional and white collar professional, all kinds of people. This is not a high end part of town, but this is a decent, nice part of town in general. Or getting toward one at very least. So
I'm going to put a point of luck on this.
Okay. Well, you are very convincing. The people the rest of you guys are like, yeah, we'll see you later. And you're like, for a second, you feel like you should just be leaving and not doing anything else. He's, so good at the way he says it.
It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, we're done here. Oh, no, we're not done here. Damn it.
No, we're not. All right. And you're going to, you want to be, so, and I assume you're not trying to disappear completely, like hide from everybody, but you're trying to not be obvious that you're approaching, that you're going to be trying to catch up to your target. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, I'm tracking him, so I'm shadowing him.
You're going to shadow track. Okay, you're going to use the shadow track thing, but you're not necessarily going to try to conceal.
And if I need to also do stealth so that I blend in, as it were, and don't stand out to other people watching, is the idea.
Okay. Well, that would be up to you if you want to not be obvious in what you're doing. The tracking and keeping the shadow track would be keeping track of him, making sure you don't lose him in the crowd, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then the stealth would be not making it obvious that you're trying to track this person and keep track of them. And
I'm doing both.
So
I'm going to spend some more luck on shadow track.
Okay.
And that's not a fumble because I spent luck on it.
That's right. And you are lucky that you did. Okay. So you actually have a 15 total then. Unless you didn't put the one luck in the modifier box, or did you?
No, I've got a total of 14.
Yeah. So 14. But you used one luck.
I spent 3 luck on it.
What's that?
I said I spent 3 luck on it, so it's 1 plus 2 plus 8 plus 3. Awful.
Oh, the 3 is your luck?
The 3 is my luck.
Okay, so 14 is the total. That's what I was trying to confirm if 14 was the actual total after luck or not. Okay, so 14 is your total there. And your stealth for not being determined, okay, or being obvious that you're following this. Okay. Okay, well, you're having, you kind of get the feeling that you're not doing the best job of tracking in the world, but your target doesn't seem to be doing anything at all to try to avoid you either. So that works out. And as far as you can tell, you're being very nonchalant. You're just walking down the street with the crowd of other people. What are the people in the vehicle doing? The SUV peoples. Stringer, you're driving, so
I don't know. What do you think? Follow about follow along with the flow of traffic. Try to keep about a block back.
Yeah, just creep along in traffic. I assume it's fairly busy. I mean, this is city centre traffic.
Let's see. So he was coming down. He was in here. Okay. So yeah, you're getting the medical center, which is as you get deeper into the medical center, further north into this this triangle area here. This is all medical. This is all medical center, as well as some of the area up here is all medical center area. And
yeah, that makes sense.
Nicer area this all gets.
Yeah.
But as he's going up here, there is an alley might be too coarse for. It's just a small road. It's a small side street, just the other side of this one building here. The guy turns and starts walking. Doesn't seem to be in a hurry. Doesn't seem to be trying to get away from anybody. But he does. He gets to the corner and he turns. He starts going down this street over here. Marcellus, you aren't too far behind him. You're 15, 20 feet, unless you want to be more. You're only a dozen paces, whatever, behind him or something. Not terribly far behind him.
Yeah, if it's all right, I'd like to make an awareness notice for cameras and such like.
Okay. This is a small side street. It is 2 lanes, 1 lane each way. You can just drive down that road just like any other road. It's just a more narrow road than you've been on. Okay, there are cameras all over the place. There are traffic cameras at the intersection before he turned to our right. There were traffic cameras there. There's like shops have cameras on their doorways. Let's see, that was back here. There's another data term on one of the corners right there. There's cameras built into the data term. There's actually a small dome on top of the data term that is it's just known to be a 360-degree camera setup. It's actually it's a spinning camera under the dome, so it's constantly getting a 360-degree image all the way around the data term itself, plus the camera that's actually facing when you walk up to the data term to use it. There's a camera facing that way. As you turn around the corner, and you see him, he's just as far down. He's not any further or closer than you were to him as you come around the corner. He didn't, disappear on you or anything. As you come around the corner, it's the same kind of thing. It's just it's like a dense metropolis with lots of shops, lots of stores, and everybody has their own security systems. Not to mention the various traffic stuff. There were traffic cameras back here. As you get down, as you turn the corner, go down the side street, there do not appear to be traffic cameras on the side street.
Yeah, that's kind of there's no way that they can compromise every camera. Yeah, if they could do that, they wouldn't need to be doing anything else, because basically they'd have already emptied out Arasaka and the Tex accounts into their personal accounts.
Michelle, you don't have an implanted cell phone or anything like that, do you?
I do not have an implanted cell phone. I do have the micro radio.
Okay. Well, you hear, first of all, let me double check here. Good enough. First of all, the people in the car, this is the you jack in to drive it and all that kind of a vehicle. But on the display, the windshield itself is partially just heads-up display, has information map and stuff potential on it. But Icepick's face comes up in the middle of the windshield, the windscreen, and he kind of very suddenly, actually, it pops up, and he goes, "How's it going, guys? Did you find him?" And as that happens, and actually, some lights, some things change on the dash. There's one of those like a nav system and all that stuff, right? And it goes several menus change as things start flipping around on the menu system. And yeah, and then Marcellus, you hear your brother's voice saying, "Find him yet?" over your radio.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's the Mastoid commo that I've got, as well as a son.
So you hear that over your radio, and the car system actually stopped on a radio system like a not shortwave,
Microwave?
radio, not audio, not like a radio like just for music and stuff, but a
Yeah, like a transponder frequency.
a real transmitter transceiver radio that apparently is built into the car that you guys didn't know about.
Oh, God damn it, I speak. Yeah, your brother's following him right now. We got to find a place without enough cameras to sort of pick him up. Any suggestions? That he can hear you, but he can't talk right now. Any suggestions for a good alleyway up ahead or road that they could divert?
Let's see. So you're going down this side street.
Technically, I can.
That's all pretty crowded streets. No.
No,
So,
nowhere with a.
Unless you could get Vincent to go down one of the like service, package delivery service area, back entrance things to one of these buildings or something, maybe.
Hmm.
And
that's kind of what my plan was. That's kind of what my plan was. I was going to convince him.
Well, if you
okay.
can, yeah.
Well, somewhere in here, as you guys are talking, and you're continuing following him, he gets up to the next, and he turns back right. He turns back south again on this road, on this main road again.
So he's walking in a circle.
At this point, of you.
So I'm looking for, a back entrance, the sort of the type of place that would be ideal to be able to bundle him into the SUV without observation.
Well, there is. Let me see. You went down. It was right in here. You turn the corner. There is right on the south, would be southwest corner right there is a parking garage.
That'll do.
A couple of 2-lane entrance and then a break where there's some like offices or something where you'd pay and all that, and then a 2-lane exit. And that's all in that area right in there. Off the main street.
So we'd have to actually get him into the parking garage.
If that's what you were gonna do,
Yeah. So just a sub-vocal that they need to get the SUV into the parking garage, and I'm going to bring the guy in.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, it does come across now that your ice picks got connected. That comes across the car stereo system. You guys hear that? And from this point, anything that's said inside the car, Marcellus, you'll be able to hear.
Okay.
Because he's rigged it up to work. And as you guys are doing this, ice pick's head is still in the center of the windshield. Semi-transparent, so you can still drive and stuff, but it's a little bit weird, because it's actually a heads-up display made for doing maps and that kind of stuff, but you get this kind of low-res head and neck in the middle of the windscreen, full height, but right in the center. But so you guys can continue to follow him around.
So
yeah.
As we're getting close towards the parking garage, I'm going to basically sidle up to him. I'm like, oh, buddy, haven't seen you in a while. And using the folds of my long coat, basically jam the pistol into the small of his back. And basically go, if you don't want to be a paraplegic, you come with me and don't make a fuss.
You notice as you get that close to him, kind of stinks. Body odor, like he hasn't bathed in a while, and doesn't respond to you at all. Keeps walking at exactly the same pace and everything that he's been walking.
So I'm guessing.
Now, if you shove him over, he'll move over. If you do something like that, but he makes there's no indication he even heard you. No response.
So he's got a gun screwed into the small of his back and he's just totally ignoring it.
Like you're not even there. You want to do another, now that you're right up on top of him too, you want to do another awareness notice?
Yeah. Ah, bloody character sheet.
Okay, that is enough. You notice a couple more things. This person is, as you, especially, you get up to him, he made no attempt to avoid you, getting an arm around him or getting around, gun to his back, all that stuff. Just nothing. You notice he's very thin, gaunt. You notice his shoes are very, very worn down. Like the soles and the everything, just very almost totally worn out, which doesn't really match his clothing in general. Other than, again, it's like he hasn't bathed in a week or whatever. And as far as human perception, just like that might as well be a robot walking next to you, or a dolly, a hand truck or something.
A stinky robot.
Right.
Stinky robot. Just does he have?
Makes absolutely no indication that that anybody else is there. He doesn't make eye contact with anybody. Nothing.
Does he have visible interface plugs or chip socket?
Let's see if you can notice if you're. Well, do you have smart goggles? Any help you see things better stuff?
No.
Infrared, none of that stuff.
Just my keen eyes.
Okay. You do on the back of his neck, since with your location you can kind of see it. He's wearing a jacket. He's got a hoodie up. But, as he's walking and as you got your arm around him and stuff, you can kind of see into the side of the hoodie because it's real loose. It's not tight or anything or tight or any of that. But you can see there's some kind of cyberware that's coming up his back and, right around the base of his neck. You can see it poking up right there.
Does that sound like the same thing that this other wear?
It appears to be polished copper color.
Okay. So still sub-vocaling.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy, sorry, mate. After those drinks, I thought I recognised you. And just sort of drop away.
Mm-hmm.
And and then obviously coming back to the guys in the car, look, he's wired the same as the psychos. He's just a human drone.
Yeah, do you think he's just been pacing in circles?
Look, it's possible. His shoes are well worn down. It looks like he hasn't stopped walking.
Well, I mean,
Let's just drop off, see what happens.
well, I was going to say let's pick him up.
No, let's see if he does a full cycle, because the other thing being, he's got to get the camera footage from somewhere.
Unless it's just coming straight to him via that cyberware to a wet drive or something. If we pick him up, I can use the cyber scanner to see exactly what pieces of what mumbo jumbo he's got on him.
If you want. Problem is, the only way to do that is forcibly take him off the street, because I can maybe drag him into the parking lot, but he's not even reacting. It's going to be obvious.
Unless you hit him in the face.
So he's down. He's just continuing down that side,
Yeah.
that sidewalk. He's down here somewhere now.
If you start a petty scuffle, and then a man with a badge shows up, puts zip ties on both of you, puts you in the back of his car, and drives off, that looks like it's just a bounty hunter arrest, picking people up for something petty to get some lunch money for the day. And then I can unzip you and we can take him in.
Sure, can do that.
Are you good with that, Stringer?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right.
Right, guess I'm giving him a smack. Let me know when you're in position to roll in.
So you're going to attempt to knock him out, basically, or to
I'm
just
not going to knock him out. I'm just going to give him a bit.
Kind of,
You know, just get into a scuffle with him, and then use your martial arts to hold him steady. Then the cop comes in and detains everybody. So yeah, I'm ready when everybody else is.
Yeah, just go for it. And yes, I'm not trying to cause him real physical damage.
Okay.
I'm
Stun damage.
pulling my blows.
Back at the bit, I'm just going to the loo.
Yeah, just as soon as they connect with each other, just you know, give us a nice screechy handbrake, and I'll pop out the side, flashing the badge.
So he had to, I think, Stringer had to take a break for a second. So he'll be right back. But it is actually not a problem at all. It happens. So Marcellus takes a swipe at him. You jump, Pac-Man, you're jumping out of the car and flashing a badge and tie everybody and put them in the car.
Yeah, just it looks like both of you fumbled. Amazing.
Oh wow. Okay. Alrighty then.
But yeah, as soon as they both swing at each other.
So yeah. We're
Hey, look, I've been pretending that I've had too much to drink, so just
true.
You know,
it works. So
it
you both end
works.
up on the ground. Bottom line is you both end up on the concrete.
Yep. And then I'm
This
making this look
guy
like an
is
arrest.
Immediately trying to get back up and continue his walk.
Yep. So I'm gonna throw my my expert arrest on this with the authority. Give this a shot. Both of you just hopping out, badge up. Both of you on the ground now.
Well, a target dude is trying to get back up.
Yeah, well, target dude is not going anywhere because I'm kind of pinning him.
Oh, okay. Okay, we can do that for the moment. Yep. Let's see if he, rolls something crazy. He's really trying to get up.
Well, then in a
He is getting
unusually
up, but he's really trying.
in an unusual police move, I go to restrain the guy on the bottom of the pile first.
Yeah, that'd be pretty unusual. Okay.
And then I will, once he's
Zip cuff him.
in the zip cuffs high and low,
Yeah.
I'm going to use some nice flashy Aikido and probably a little help from Marsalis because he could probably beat me with his eyes closed because I am but a junior, to make it look like I flip him up off the dude, put him face down, and then tie him up too. If he's going to go with it.
Of course.
Yep. And then
exactly that.
And then I look down, keep your face on the ground, to Marsalis while I pick up the first guy and put him in. We're bringing you both in for questioning to figure out what this was about. And then get in after I've loaded them both into the car and we can head out.
Yeah, well, you obviously you guys are playing along, and you don't. There's no problem doing that part. And we'll fill Stringer in when he gets back because it's not a big deal. But you guys get in the car. He is continuing to try to get away. It's like he's trying to stand up in the car, and he is just pulling all his strength, which actually doesn't appear to be as much as you would think. It doesn't
malnourishment,
as strong as you would think he should be.
Mm-hmm.
He's pulling at the cuffs, pulling at his legs, trying to get up, and literally it's like he's wants to just stand up in the car.
Yep. Let's see. What do I have in my inventory for this? You know what? I have the binoculars. I'm going to take the binocular bag and sort of make an improvised blindfold out of that, so he can't. In case, he's got cyber eyes, they ain't transmitting no more. And then start giving him the once-over with the tech scanner.
Okay. You can do that. Tech scanner, that requires a roll, doesn't it? As I recall?
Yeah, just basically a don't fail roll.
Right.
Make sure it doesn't blow out.
Yep.
Well, looks like I'm changing batteries on this thing. This is why I carry 6 sets of spare batteries in case I fumble this.
There you go.
This is
Some smoke comes out the back.
Damn thing. Always on the fucking fritz. I dump out the batteries.
The magic smoke escapes.
Blow out some magic
from the battery compartment.
Smack some more in, wipe it out. Just goddamn. Fucking double eights. Charge you so much for them, €5 a pop at the damn gas station.
And as you're doing this, let's see. Hold on. I got to do a couple rolls here real quick. Okay.
Back.
So as you're doing that, the interior lights of the car start flashing bright red as right after that one. The interior lights in the car start flashing red, and the car starts to pull itself over to the side. And as that happens, your ice pick says, "Damn, freaking automated fire suppression stuff!" And the lights go back out, and the car starts driving normally again.
Thanks, ice pick. That would have been awkward.
Whilst this is going on, I'm actually, now that we've got him zip tied and whatever, I'm just going to put him into a just nice sleeper hold and just gently take him.
Gently let him fall off. Okay. Yep. Okay. And you didn't fail, and he didn't roll a 10. So, yep, he nods off.
Yeah, once this thing gives us a readout of everything we're working with, we might need to bring him actually into a precinct since this is the first live one they've got.
Well, as you start looking it over, there's a couple things that you get. If you start at the top, he has some kind of a unregistered brain implant. He has 2 cyber eyes that do not match each other.
Lord.
He has what's it let's see, it's not an exoskeleton. It's not. It's kind of like it's like tough bone. Okay, in that it is a skeletal, semi-skeletal replacement through his chest.
Mm-hmm.
He has a cyber stomach and a couple of other cyber organs, cyber heart, cyber legs. None of this stuff is of any kind of quality. It's all in bad shape. It's all very worn, old stuff that most Ripper Docs would probably just either toss out or maybe try to salvage for parts for something else. But it's all functional. Every bit of it's functional. There isn't really a whole lot of not cyber in this guy.
Okay, but it's not any of the, but it's not the super high-end stuff that would lead to actual cyber psychosis.
Okay, this is the fun part. You can see the component coming up his neck. It does not register on your scanner.
Yeah, that's new.
If you start to pull the sleeve down, he has the thing that's on his arm, on his right arm. It actually covers part of his shoulder and just above the elbow. And it's just like the stuff in the picture, except this one doesn't have all the designs on it. It just is just the polished copper in color. And it has the same thing. It has the one component that kind of snakes up from his arm up to the back of his neck. But when you try to scan it, it's like he just has a piece of metal attached to him. Basically, it's shielded.
Yeah.
It's shielded in a way that your regular handheld scanner can't really determine what it is.
Yeah, he's gonna have to go into a full body, effectively MRI.
Start taking it apart or something like that.
As the scan has been going, I've been taking a closer look at this with my Cybertech chip activated.
What level do you have?
See if I can't make out and get some sort of understanding as to what it is that it's doing, and also if it's receiving a signal.
Do you have? Well, first of all, what level of chip do you have?
4.
A 4, okay. And do you have any kind of tools? Or are you just doing this from a visual inspection, or what's your plan there?
Well, I do actually, funnily enough, have an electronics toolkit.
Ah, well, okay then.
Because I am, after all, also a bit of a electronics security disabler. So I've got B&E tools and electronics toolkit.
And Stringer, are you back yet?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I don't know if you caught that while you were gone. They did go ahead and get the guy in the car. It seemed, as far as everybody could tell, it was real clean pickup. And are you going to continue to drive you guys away? Or are you going somewhere? Or are you just going to pull over while you guys figure it out? Or what's your plan? Since you're driving, I got to ask you that first.
Yeah, I'll drive back in the direction of Charter Hill.
Okay. I would suggest not going to Charter Hill, but going to a Ricketts police station, his precinct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can do that.
Ice pick.
The head and the image on the windshield turns toward you.
So,
Yes.
Can you use the fancy crap in this car and see if he's receiving some sort of signal, and then maybe backtrace this signal?
Let's see what the car has. See what it can do. The menus on the screen start flipping and changing all over the place again. Yeah, I think he's broadcasting. No idea what it is, though. Can't tell. There's definitely something broadcasting from in here, and I don't think it's you guys. So, yeah. This car has a radio jammer. Cool. You want me to turn that on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. The menus flip around again, and the anti-communications system, as the menu says, comes on. Marcellus, you start getting a lot of loud static in your communication, your mastoid. So you might want to either turn it down or turn it off.
Yeah, I was going to say I'll turn off the.
Lots of loud static. Does anybody else have any radio-related gear?
No. Is it what type of gear?
Radio, at this point.
No, just a cell phone.
Cell phone. Okay. Anybody that does the next thing. Anybody that has a cell phone, their cell phone will beep a couple of times. If you look at it, it will show no service.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
As all this happens, let's see, you guys are heading south here. So you're just about to go, you're going across the boulevard here. And of course, this is all fenced off on the other side. So you have to go down and, you have to go to over here and go south or something like that, whatever. But as the jammer comes on, and let me see how to describe this. A seizure. That's probably a good way. The jammer comes on just at the same time as you guys are going across the boulevard, and the guy starts having a seizure.
Ooh, okay. You just want to turn it back on?
Shaking and,
Yeah, cancel the jamming.
Give me a minute. The red lights start coming back on inside the car. The red flashing, you assume fire alarm lights, come back on.
No.
We should have just been able to turn the jamming off because we saw the menus work.
Right, but you didn't. You had him do it, and he's hacked into the car remotely. So every time he issues a command to try and do something in the car, it's another roll. Guys, I'm having a little trouble with the car. A voice in the car, starts saying, Halon warning. 5 seconds to Halon deployment.
Open the windows now.
Yeah, I'll start pressing buttons and see if I get it to cancel.
The red lights all shut off. The lights go back to normal, all that stuff. And the jammer, apparently the jammer shuts off because your stuff starts working right. And the seizure stops.
All right. Before we do that, again, we need to find a bathtub because I have some laundry to do. But barring that, maybe we don't give this guy a seizure intentionally.
Great. That's great.
Just absolutely irreverent.
From the door panel on the side you're sitting on, a little door opens up and there's this And it's like a a perfume kind of smell wafts through the car. Like those little cans in the bathroom that every 5 minutes.
I think even the car is telling us he smells bad. Which,
He smells. The thing is receiving a signal. So we need to be able to backtrace that signal, and that will take us to the guy.
Well, that's why I'm thinking we should take him to the police and see if maybe their runners can backtrace the signal and we can go grab it. Unless you want to go and take him to Doc Ock and see if we can take this piece apart. Which one do you guys want to go with?
Icepick will interject that there's the car has a jammer, the car has a bug and radio and cell detector all built into the car, so you can tell what is being broadcast from the car, but it doesn't have a way to trace something that's outside the car.
Yeah. So we're gonna have to go somewhere with the equipment for this, which we are not geared for.
We are not. I mean, the only people that are going to be geared for this are either the police or the corporations.
He said,
Or possibly.
Icepick does say there's a chance if we jack him into the car, maybe I can. From what you guys were saying, he's got a lot of cyberware. Maybe I can just hack him. I can try.
Is there a chance that he could hack you back?
Well, if he's getting a signal from someplace else, who knows if that's something that's automated, or if there's some net runner on the other end of that, or what? I have no idea. No way to know.
Well, that's up to you if you want to try it. I got 2 spare sets of interface plugs with me. We can jack him in if we want.
It's up to you guys. There's always the chance of a dive like that is always potentially dangerous. So
yeah, but this one's controlling him.
I'm willing to give it a shot. I'll try it.
Yeah.
The thing being, we take him to the cops. There's a good chance that you're going to lose out on the bounty.
That's fair.
Because the cops can then trace it and just conduct a raid.
That's fair.
We do it this way, we've still got options.
It's true. It's very true.
And
if you guys are down, let's do it. I mean, the worst that happens is the car gasses us again.
Yeah. Actually, the worst that happens is my brother dies.
Well, I mean, I really don't like dying to halon gas. So for me, the worst that happens is I die. The second worst thing is your brother dies. The third worst thing is we all die, and then nobody has a chance to tell me I told you so.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We can work with that.
Top 3 off the bat all suck. Other than that, it's all roses and more than what we got here. So yeah.
How was the play, Mrs. Lincoln?
Yeah. Messy. Went out with a bang.
Yeah, we'll jack this mess into the car and see if Icepick can hack him and actually find out where the signal coming into him is coming from. Because you wouldn't go into a seizure off the back of broadcasting out. It would have to be a cut-off of information coming in.
Icepick says, or just the back and forth. It could be in either direction, losing connection. Because when I hit that jammer, everything cut off. So it could have been incoming or outgoing. It may have been an automated thing when he couldn't broadcast out, or it could be something that he's receiving in that is keeping it, keeping him stable or something like that.
Except that broadcast
so
go it just wouldn't go anywhere.
And Icepick will point out that, again, he is not a doctor and he is not a cyber. He doesn't know anything of it. He's not a cyber technician or any of that kind of stuff. So, but he can hack in and try to hack the guy's cyber in that, if he can figure out what the signal is or where it's coming from or stuff like that. But he's not a cyber tech per se.
No, I'm not asking him to find out what the tech actually does. It's trying to backtrace the signal that's got him coming into this.
He's just a little anxious to try to. He's not tried to actually hack into a person. So he's heard some stories about Raish doing something like that, but. And actually, if you guys want to listen to it, he'll start telling you the story, the rumors that Raish Bartmoss is trying to take over a whole apartment building, hacking all the people that live there.
Yeah, you're not hacking a person, you're just hacking the cyberware that's in it.
Kind of the same thing. It's attached to him and implanted, and you got that brain implant and all that stuff, and I don't know how it's all connected, so we'll see. But I am kind of curious to try. So what you guys are going to do?
Yeah, jack him in.
All right. Somebody plugs him in. Somebody's going to plug him into the car. He's got regular standard interface plugs. Interface plug. Plug him into the car. Is anybody else plugged into the car?
No.
Stringer, are you driving just manually or are you driving by wire?
I'm driving manually.
Okay. Nobody else is plugged in. Okay. So let's see how we're going to do this. That's a good roll. So you're driving. You guys are still driving. You're still driving the car. Which way are you headed, by the way?
Towards the police station.
Okay. Does anybody remember where that police station is?
No.
I think we'd said in another session, but I don't recall.
No, I think that was before my time.
Okay. So that's okay for the moment. That's generally where you're headed. Okay. So the synthesized voice coming out of the car stereo of your brothers that's what how he's been talking to you. He's saying, this is kind of interesting. This is different. This is kind of neat. Okay. So your brother's head, the image of your brother's head disappears from the windshield. And another, let's see, a very stereotypic, it's an image that comes up on the whole windscreen. It's like a camera that's up in the corner of a room, okay? In the room is like a stereotypical tech, crazy tech, cyber tech workshop. Just what you could imagine if Dr. Frankenstein was or Frankenstein, depending on which movie you want to look at, was a Cyberpunk 2020 techie, this would be his workshop. There are pieces of cyberware all over, several work counters. You're seeing basically the whole room, and there's a guy in a lab coat, and he's sitting. He kind of looks up at the camera, and he says, "What are you guys doing with my courier?" Come on. Let me know. That's my courier. I built him to deliver some things and do things for me. And what are you guys doing?
Well, Doc, we just kind of borrowed him for a little bit.
There are a few pieces. You'll see shells of that same copper. Like it's like the same device, the shell for the cover, whatever for the device, but it's just the cover plate that's kind of laying off to the side. There's 2 or 3 of them laying there, and then there's what you would guess is the rest of it in various pieces of disassembly and assembly and stuff laying around on one of the benches.
We just kind of borrowed him for a little bit, make a phone call to you.
What did you borrow him for?
Yeah, we wanted to make a phone call to you.
I've got another event coming up. I'm going to need him.
I tell you what, Doc. Why don't I do? I'll take you. I'll upload you a bit for you.
You're volunteering to be my new courier?
Sure. Just tell me where to come.
The scene disappears, fades out completely, and Ice Pick's head reappears. He goes, "What the hell was that? Somebody completely kicked me out of the system."
Yeah.
I was hacked. I was like checking out the cyberware and that implant, and it was like a whole micro net. It's like he had his own. The guy was his own micro network. I was checking it out, and then I got completely kicked out.
Yeah. Did you at least trace where the signal was going?
Yeah. I think. I was trying to confirm it, though. He says kind of, sheepishly. Because he wasn't at all just exploring and trying to check things out while he was doing that. Because he thought it was cool. He actually puts the little nav display comes up. He says, "I actually found 2 addresses. And I'm not sure what they are for sure, but there were 2 addresses that were just recently updated. One of them is down here. No, here. I think, as far as I could tell. Hard to tell. This building across from the Western Star, so it's in this building somewhere. According to the GPS, it had a negative elevation, though, so I think it must be in the basement. That was one of them. And the other location was right here, right out in front of the hotel. It wasn't the hotel itself. It was the courtyard and the stuff right out in front. There's a big fountain and stuff there. It's pretty cool.
Mm.
But those are the 2 addresses I found. Can I go back? Can I check them out? Can I hack in? Can I do that again? I want to check them out some more.
The image we got when we were having the conversation, did it look basement-like?
I'm not sure. The awareness notice. How about we do that and see how that comes out. So there were those half windows, like cellular. Those real narrow windows that would be up at the top of the wall. You could see one of those in the image, which might just mean that they want windows up high where they can't be seen, it might mean it was a basement. The walls did seem like they might be block, like they might be really like brick or block, or not brick, but cinder blocks, which might be another indication that it's a basement. So there was not something to say, hey, this is a basement. But yes, there were some indications.
Well, I guess we got to motor over there quickly before the guy decides to do a runner.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm falling asleep here.
Yeah, I was going to say it's
about that time for you guys. Okay.
Normally I'm okay, but I just didn't sleep much last night and was up very early.
Yeah, it's reaching.
That actually works well for me because the wife just got home and we need to be oot and about shooping. So,
alrighty. Well, I got one more thing. I'm going to let you know. As you're doing this stuff, there is the guy's still plugged into the car. A message comes up on the display, and it is actually that address that was wherever the hell I said it was, across from down here.
Below the Westerns.
Okay, this GPS coordinates and stuff come up on the screen, and it just says, "Please drop off the volunteer here."
What? Well, fine.
In case it wasn't clear, this guy's not entirely stable.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I seem to have missed some fun times.
So, yep, there you go. Okay, so I
I
understand.
saw an opportunity and I took it.
No, it was a fair go, I guess.
All right. It sounds like we're gonna call it there, so you guys can get some rest or go whatever as the case may be.
Yeah.
Thank you for showing up.
Thank you. It was great.
Thank you.
I apologize again for having missed the other. It's just been work. It's been crazy. But there it is.
As you said, it happens.
It does. It does just happen. But we will continue our adventure after the crazy copper, whatever we call them, pauldron, copper pauldron. At least that's the code name. We will continue our adventures in search of him next week.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sounds good to me.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Appreciate the game. For those in that part of the world, have a good evening.
Yep. I will
Yes.
see you all later.
Afternoon.
Yeah, well, it's hitting 11:30 for me, and I've got another early start in the morning.
Understand. All right, guys. Well, if something doesn't come up before, I will see you guys Monday.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Cheers.
All right. All right, man. Thank you, guys. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.